Hello everybody, welcome to the final CPL Preseason cast. I'm Neblime and we have here Saetzero. Say hello, Saetzero. Maybe he's not there.
I'm here. I'm here. I had to find the unmute button.
Listen people, doesn't he sound different? Doesn't he sound amazing with his new microphone?
Finally, I've jumped to the age of not being garbage.
And today we also have a third caster. We have Cold Warpgates. Say hello, Cold Warpgates.
Hello, Cold Warpgates.
Get out!
Yeah,
Get out!
Kick him out. Banned from CPL. Alright, so today we're looking at some higher tier games, and we've cherry-picked all the best remaining games that haven't been casted for preseason, so it's going to be a pretty hype night. Can't wait to get into these games. So, without further ado, let's join the first one.
Well, it's already up. We're waiting for you, buddy.
Blizzard allows us.
So we have to
Hey,
pray
it
to
worked
the Blizzard
first time. Sorry, what's
Hey.
that?
Never mind, we're good.
Yeah?
Alright, let's do it. In the top right here, in the magenta, we have Hops playing Kratos, and the bottom left, in the yellow, it's Fosho. Is it Fosho? I don't know how to say it. What do you think? I need some input from you guys.
It's faux show. You gotta have that little
Okay.
street to your
Yeah,
name. I
yeah,
know
yeah.
Australia, you probably don't have streets there, but you gotta get a little urban, man.
Fair enough. Okay, so TVP coming in here in a clip. So, are all the games we're casting from week 2, or is there a mix?
It's all week 2.
Alright.
The whole idea between what we casted yesterday and casted today is if you are watching someone playing this, they did well in their week 2 group. They're looking good going into that regular season, and this is the most recent play you can see from. So maybe some people are getting some free scouting, a little extra advantage, but otherwise just kind of showcasing what to expect when we start the regular season.
That's right. The next time you see us cast, we'll be doing the regular season. Like, this will be it for preseason. Unless somehow we run out of games. So that's not going to happen. There's going to be so many games for actual season. It's going to be hype as hell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Are we going to have like 75 best of 3s every week?
Literally, yes.
Yeah, literally yes.
Yeah, there'll be walkovers. So my estimate is like 65 maybe, but still.
Yeah.
Way too many.
No, everyone's excited to play. Don't assume walkovers. What's wrong with you?
Oh, come on. You know it's going to happen. It's inevitable.
Or is this insider information about your team? You're already planning the strategies. Just like, listen, just don't show up. It's all good, man. We're sending a message.
You say, oh, I'm Australian, so let's play at like 2 a.m. Eastern, right? And then you just don't show up, and you're like, oh, no, I meant my time or something. Like, and then you just claim the walkover.
Yeah, this is why every time I set up times with someone, I'm like, well, this is my time, so this would be your time. Do you agree? So that way I have the hard yes, I can screenshot and everything.
Give me written consent. Okay, these workers going to pass the center of the map. Right? Dude, these guys are almost perfectly synced up with their workers, met. It was almost like exact timing. You know, Fosho is obviously not expecting any zealot pressure based on his barracks placement. That's all I can say about this.
Yeah.
Like, good God, it's lucky Hops didn't go for a proxy, because this would be very difficult. The barracks all the way in the back as well. This probe finding out everything.
You focus so much on these people as like this wall that is like just a little opportunity. Like they didn't put the barracks in the right spot so often. It's like no one's proxying, especially in this preseason. Everyone wants to get those real games, really evaluate the skill.
So.
Either that or they saw that one cast where the people got flamed for going to 4 pool and 0-0.
Yeah, you got a point though. Actually, in all these preseason games, we've seen like so little cheese. People really just want to, show what they can do, which I like. I approve that a lot. But when we get to the season, I want people to be dirty. All right, I don't want you playing honorably. You're there for the win in the season. So pull out your proxies, pull out your DTs. What does Terran do? Pull out 2 facts, 1 base drop, anything like that. Your BBS. I want to see it.
Okay, I'm not saying anything, but what team are you on again, Neblime? Real quick.
Rhinodone's Revenge.
Okay, so coach for Rhinodone's Revenge, encouraging cheese for the regular season, not implying anything, but I'm just saying.
Well, you just beware, right? Those Rhinodons are sneaky. You think they're innocent and harmless, but you'll see. Okay, so
I don't even know what that critter is.
We got a 10-21 coming up for Hops here, by the way. So going double gate, playing very safely, and I think it's going to be a bit of an advantage for Terran here, because Terran's going for a regular bunker expand so far. I mean, this is a fine position for Protoss, but just your expand is going to be later than it could have been, and there's nothing to defend that's coming out, but it is very safe against 2-fac and like FD and that sort of thing, so he's just playing it safe for now.
I mean, you can catch up reasonably quickly, though, as long as you are willing to take that double expand, take a little bit of that risk. You have this extra gateway, you're going to have the unit production where you shouldn't feel too pressured by doing it. Now, I do love that Fosho kept this SV alive, pulled it off over to the third a little bit. Looking like they're going to try to poke back in here, but with 2 goons here, even if they don't get in, this should give some information, but one's not shooting right away. The SV might be able to sneak his way in.
This chance. Oh, no!
Oh,
My
my
God.
God.
That was so close. Oh, my God. Longest range goon shot ever. But no range, too. So he doesn't see the double gate, so he doesn't really know what's going on here. But he did see
he sees. He also did see 2 Dragoons, so you kind of know it's double gate.
No, I think Protoss should have 2 Dragoons out by that time anyway.
You could, depending on what timing it is.
If he was doing 28 next, right? For sure he would.
Yeah.
But okay, the Nexus goes down. The thing is, Terran might get a bit alarmed here because he saw no Nexus at 4 minutes 20, and normally that's like, oh god, I have to get an eBay. And you know, the Robo did come down before the Nexus, interestingly, so I'm thinking we might see some Reaver play here. If that's the case, I do actually kind of like 1021 into 2-base Reaver because you have enough goons that you can put off any Terran pressure. Oh, here we go. Suddenly the goons coming up to the bunker. 4 Marines in here, but the range will mean that... Yeah, you go more paints.
These SCVs won't make it in time.
Oh.
Ooh, this is dangerous. This is so dangerous. The Dragoons will be able to pressure easily. Kite this without any issues. And that upgrade we're first seeing from the Terran being spider mines and not siege mode, there's a real risk that this could do some very critical damage, but this SV is blocking, not letting them get to that tank, but all the Marines are dead, and lots of damage already being done by the Protoss.
Yeah, 3 goons is more enough. Oh, he's going to try and go up the ramp. No.
Probably the smart thing, honestly. Goons on a ramp is not a good idea. Oh, never mind. Right when I say that, Casper curse. Here we go.
Yeah, and that tank will fall.
Oh, very nice.
Oh my god, this is huge damage right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think Terran will clean this up because, you know, SCV is a pretty strong unit. Like, I don't know why you make tanks and you go SCVs in the front line, but the damage is done. I feel like this is a great lead for Protoss. Unfortunately, he didn't rally his other goons. I think he cut production actually going for this Reaver. And he probably could have ended the game with so, but still, this is a nice lead for Protoss now, especially taking out the first tank. But Terran went straight into 2 factories here. He has mines. I think he intended to do a fac CC fac style push, but of course he won't be able to now after losing that tank and all his Marines.
Yeah, definitely a weird situation, though. We saw that fast robo, the rush to this support bay, but with all the action going on, there was no shuttle being built. Like, it was all support bay first, no shuttle, so you can't really rush for that Reaver. Things getting a little bit out of order. But, I mean, honestly, I'll take that opportunity. If you could break that bunker, get in there, force some more Marines to get made and all that kind of damage that got done from the Protoss, I'll delay the Reaver every day of the week to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. And this is one way 1021 was totally worth it because Terran didn't expect him to have 4 Dragoons there. If it was just 2 Dragoons, he would have been able to repair in time. But with 4 Dragoons, he's knocked down that bunker before Terran could react.
Definitely. One trick that I learned recently is that you can start the shuttle and then get the robo bay, and it'll be done in time to build the Reaver. So it's like a nice little trick or optimization.
Yeah, you start the support bay when the shuttle's like around half, maybe a little bit before, and that kind of lines up nicely. Same way as like Zerg might save larva with the spire at a certain point, or making a Hydra den halfway through the lair. Like those kind of little tricks. Now, if you're talking about little tricks, though, I'm really excited. We got the shuttle here. It's got a Zealot in there to get things going. There's a Reaver on the way, but shuttle speed, rushing for this hard tech, really looking to get some good damage going. With everything getting delayed from the Terran, I don't think there's going to be turrets up in time. There's an armory on the way, but like, why would you expect Elias or any kind of anti-air here? There's a real opportunity. This might do some very huge damage.
You know, I thought I had... So you go.
Sorry, I was going to say, look at how far these vultures are going to go around, though.
Yeah, I think it's smart.
Yeah,
if you think there's not going to be a third up before you get there, I think it's smart to make sure you do get there. I was just thinking, by the way, at the front, he put the observatory at the front. I was wondering if Terran came up there earlier, if he saw how late that was, he might figure out it's Reaver. I don't know, but it's too late for that now. But oh my god. Oh, he sees the shuttle, but doesn't notice it.
Well, he sees the shuttle, but also sees it moving slowly. The speed just finishing, so doesn't know that shuttle speed actually happened. Well, so he might caught the glance, but might be a little bit late on the reactions because it's going to be so much harder to react to now.
Yeah, there's only one turret, and it's for DTs. There's no Reaver turrets.
Oh, I don't think he saw this at all. No reaction yet. Oh no. Oh, first
5 kills.
So many.
Scared. Zealot's doing a great job distracting the tanks.
Oh my god. This is brutal.
Pick it up. There you go.
Yeah, no even hold damage taken to that Reaver, so big advantage already here. Can keep the pressure on, not even willing to just kind of get out with it. Want to keep risking things.
That was really well done. I'm very impressed by that little move there.
Yeah, now we have a very solid pro bleed here for the Protoss, even though he got his expansion significantly later. So all this aggression has definitely paid off.
Oh, he's trying to.
Oh,
no, not like this. Yes.
Juicy.
Hops really making use out of that shuttle speed, getting some big damage out of the Reaver. Didn't even lose the Reaver, so that feels super bad. And I'm actually very intrigued to see what happens. So we got the shuttle speed. A second shuttle's made. A third one's on the way. What nonsense is Hops about to do for us?
This is not a guy who wants to play late game PvT. Like, he just wants to kill the Terran as soon as possible.
Yeah, we still have no third base up, right? So he's kind of compelled to go for an attack here, I feel like. But yeah, if he just drops all over the Terran army, the Reaver gets a good shot off, you can blow that up real fast. And his Reaver marker has been very good so far. I'm interested if there's going no Citadel with this. I really thought you'd want Zealot speed for this kind of bust, but not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got speed shells to drop them right in melee range, you don't really need that speed, do you?
Yeah. You just have flying zealots at that point. You don't need. Yeah, you don't need.
I guess shuttle speed is ultimately a Zealot upgrade in that case.
I mean, this is just so dangerous. And even managed to get some observers out on the field, so going to be able to keep that map control here. Faux Show, though, did catch up in workers very heavily after the Reaver damage. There's a 10-worker lead for Protoss, but he's not making probes anymore. He's been gearing up for, slamming down some gateways, getting this army up. A big move moving forward with a bunch of shuttles. This might be an opportunity to really get past this wall, break right onto the tanks with all the units you could drop right in their face.
And there were no mines until we got to the Terran Natural, so yeah, it was a completely unmolested push here, and the Terran might not even know it's really coming.
Well, this defensive setup does look pretty good for Terran. I think there's still 2 Marines in the bunker, but he's dropping on the high ground. I love that move. Other shuttle going around to the right. Oh man, the Zealot's going to work on those tanks already, but the goons at the front are taking a pounding. Here comes the Reaver. Is he going to drop it? Oh, there it goes.
This push is doing a lot of damage here, but still, a lot of the Dragoons took heavy fire from these siege tanks, but all the tanks getting cleaned up, the bunker going down as well. SV is not in position to repair anything, and I think enough of the Protoss force is going to stay alive to be able to keep doing the damage, although heavy losses were still taken here. A lot of Dragoons, the Reavers got lost, and I think some of the shuttles got killed off as well, but still an opportunity to take that 4th base up on the top side. Hops making great advantage out of the pressure they're putting on.
Oh my god, this repair. How is that tank alive? Oh my god, high ground mischance. That was so close to dying. Good lord.
Wow.
So Terran survives, but he did lose a lot of SCVs, but I don't know, Protoss has been cutting SCVs, but now 2 more Nexuses on the way. Suddenly Protoss is going, okay, now I want to play that game. Now I've killed all your stuff, I'll play a long game. Going in for another bust too. I don't think he'll kill the Terran here, but he will kill more tanks, which makes it totally worthwhile, I think. As this if he's doing their best.
Yeah, if you could just keep resetting this tank out, there's Zealots on the high ground, getting through here. I think everything finally going to get cleaned up after a long period of time. More CVs going down to a couple Zealots. The shuttles make sure they leave before they get taken out, and this just bought Hops all the time in the world to get everything established. This is the Zealot legs on the way. There's more gateway production on the way. Really didn't drop the ball doing all this damage with these attacks, making sure they're following through to a good mid-game plan. And Fosho back at home, 3 factories of production, and just there's not a big upgrade plan. It's just barely holding on to life. Hops in a great position.
Yeah, you know, that follow-up attack actually killed more SCVs than the first one. You wouldn't think so looking at it, but yeah, he really went down in SCVs after that. And now Protoss has just every advantage. The only thing Protoss is lacking is tech. I didn't see if Terran got an upgrade. Oh, he did. He got +1, and he has a starport, so potentially he can get those upgrades going, but Protoss just has such a huge economy here. I think he's just waiting for one more killing blow he might ramp up for. Or in this scenario, he can just wait till Terran leaves his base, because, you know, he has 4 bases, Terran has 2. Well, look at this Vulture, though.
I mean, a little cheeky move. If it explores enough, it's going to at least be able to see the 4th base and understand the position that the Terran's in here. I think if you knew the 4th base was taken and already saturated, Terran at least desperately tries to make a move to expand out. And this is one Vulture's actually taking all the army from Hops, coming back, trying to defend it. So, not being able to set up that container of the natural, there's still an opportunity for Fosho to get out on the map a little bit.
If he had 4 Vultures there, oh my god, he would have reset the worker difference, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he still gets really good damage just off that 1 Vulture. I mean, that goes to show why you don't leave these bases naked. Honestly, I'm looking at this base, even that 1 cannon, you show up with 6 Vultures, you don't care about that cannon, you're going to wipe those probes clean.
Yeah, a trade you'll take every day of the week, especially since the vultures you just throw out their mines and they're quote unquote useless, but still amazing. It's like they're not important units. They don't matter.
Oh, there's no observers coming up with this Protoss army. Uh-oh. Okay. No units dying yet. Oh, there goes a goon. That could have been a lot worse, to be honest.
Oh, and the observer at the Terran base dies too, so there's no detection for the next push that's coming up.
Yeah, I don't know. This is starting to become a bit inadvisable. If Protoss just keeps attacking in, this one more turn come back. Oh my god, the mines. Oh, that one gets a huge hit, and so you're going to soften up for these tanks. The shuttle's coming in, but I don't know. All the Protoss units getting thrown into this narrow location. Terran with a huge spread of tanks. I think this attack is going to go quite poorly for Protoss. Oh, but the Reaver.
Yeah, there's units being dropped in, trying to get things done. All the low ground tanks get cleared out, but there's still plenty on the high ground. Lots of vision to make sure they can get their job done. The Reaver, down by the natural, got a couple kills, up to 5 last time I saw it, but still managed to stop mining. Keeps the pressure on. A couple vultures did do a little back attack while all this was happening, but Fosha did not do enough damage to even up things at all. The Reaver going to be left for dead here. And Hops lost a lot here, but keeps resetting Fosho and putting, if you can stop the mine on the natural, you keep resetting this tank out while you're developing these other bases. I think everything it sees good.
God! Wow, is that Reaver out of range? That got so many more SCVs just now. Oh.
Well, it's as Scarabs that died to a Goliath, the worst kind of death.
To be fair, they are kind of like the natural enemy because they shoot down the shuttle. Tanks are more like their prey sometimes, you know? And barracks sometimes. So, even though that attack was extremely inefficient for Protoss, he did just kill a bunch more workers, so in the long run, I think that kind of attack will actually work out. Because Terra just has so little, he can keep battering them down bit by bit. Whoa, there's a shuttle over there. No one noticed that.
Not anymore.
Yeah, it didn't have anything in it, so, I mean, a nice kill. We always want to keep dropping things out, and we see Fosho attempting to move out a little bit, get some mines on the outside the natural, trying to establish some kind of control here, but with all the damage that's been done, all the time being bought by Hops in these attacks, there's still no third CC on the way. The worker count keeps getting reset, and really the only thing Fosho has that is attempting to keep him in this game is these little vulture run-bys you keep seeing every now and then. And I mean, there's an opportunity this could do some big damage at the 4th at least, but Hops' situation still looking very good.
Yeah, this base is not defended really at all. If these vultures come in here, yeah, they will kill every probe if he decides to go for it. And it looks like he will. I hope. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, and even he can hit them without hitting the cannon, so there you go. But he's buying time for Protoss reinforcements to arrive, but none are moving yet. These goons having to try and come across all the way across the map, but they're not even moving. And he's slowly going to whittle down every probe. Or maybe not so quickly.
I kind of actually love the decision we see from Hops here, back at home with the tech, add on a bunch more gateways. Templar Archives is there as well, but not a hard rush to make sure they can get that Stargate, get that Arbor Tech going. A little bit of that Gateway Man style, which is really good for controlling the ground if your opponent's having trouble establishing their foothold out on the map. If you can just keep Fosho on 2 bases for a lot longer, take that 4-base economy and just feel like you're in a great spot.
Yeah, for sure, but I do have to criticize the worker production because he could have been far more ahead, I think, even with the vulture losses. Oh my god, these mines! Oh, are they really Terran's best friend? They took out quite a few vultures there and didn't kill a single zealot. Would have been nice if he got mines down in that spot without Protoss noticing, but Protoss on the ball and denies that. But these are a lot of vultures running around. The number of vultures running around is always a scary force, no matter what point in the game you're at.
You're talking about the probe count. I feel like Fosho has lost more workers than Hops has made in this entire game.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But no, you can see the difference in army is enormous. The worker difference isn't huge. It's 13, which is definitely significant. But look at the supply. Hops just has so much bigger of an army. But the tank count is not bad for Fosho. If he can kind of inch his way over to the 3rd, he'd still have somewhere to go in this game. Oh, these vultures coming to the 4th again.
Wait, I think natural. Oh, okay. He's finally going to kill the eggs. All his goons can leave his base.
Oh, I didn't see that.
A big little roadblock, but that just
oh, look at the fate of these zealots.
The mines.
That was pretty nice. Actually, he did it way better than in the middle of the map there, where he laid the mines first, then baited the zealots over and take them out. And yeah, this is very efficient for Terran. Look how many zealots he's taken out here for the loss of 2 vultures.
I mean, I don't think Hobbs cares, though. The amount of units he's got on the map, all these gateways churn out plenty of production. Back at home, he's just making sure the macro keeps going. Even though 4-base economy, the worker count is enough to, like make sometimes producing units a little difficult. Hop's doing a great job here, and Fosho still can't get out on the map. He sent out little vulture hit squads to kind of do damage to even it up, but if he never makes this third base, he doesn't get it established, is it going to be all for naught?
Yeah, well, I think Hops does need to care, because you get inefficient enough, Terran will get, like, you know, to around 150 to 200 supply and actually be able to move out here slowly. So you need to be careful. Even when you're in a dominating position in this game, you can still lose for sure. You know what would be a good thing to do in this scenario? You just build cannons at this third. Like, you just build, like, 10 cannons there, and Terran can't really do anything about it.
Look how annoying. Look how annoying this is at 9 o'clock. One Zealot's just hanging out. That CC can't even show its face. And Terran's going to have to finally start trying to move out here. But all those mines right outside the natural, it's hard to actually move out and not put your tanks at risk. You can see even the vultures clumped up here, afraid to kind of move out. And Hops already has his units kind of spread out a couple different clumps ready for a big engage if the opportunity arises.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, he's just going to go right on them. Okay, get off there, get off there. Protoss letting him move forward off the mines, luckily for him. This is a big number of tanks, I was going to say, where I think as long as he gets set up, he can go, but he's not sieging. Okay, he sieges before the Protoss attack. That was very scary with all your tanks and siege at once. I think Terran will definitely be able to hold this position now, so he's going to be able to land this third. There's no.
I mean, look at all these reinforcements though, and there's not more mines. Like, there's gonna be a great engage from the Protoss moving in from all sides here. Plenty of tanks siege, and they're spread out decently enough. There's no splash damage, but just so many Protoss units moving in here. Zealots managed to get to the tanks without any issue. There's just not enough vultures or mines to slow things down, and it looks like the Protoss, while taking heavy losses, is gonna be able to clean up his army without any issue. And Fosho will not be able to establish that third base after all.
GG, he really did just get right in there, didn't he? Like, he wasn't doing anything fancy. He's like, alright, here's my big army. Here I come.
Somewhere, Artosis is just feeling an unexplained bout of rage. Because I feel like Hops is like the ultimate gateway man.
Yeah, it seems so.
I mean, I love Gateway Man style, where you just like, you don't even like, you're not even going to Storm and Templar. It's like, you could do these. The option is there. I got these speed shuttles. I used them. I'm done with them. I don't even care anymore. I just need Zealots and Dragoons and a lot of money.
Exactly. Well, he was extremely ahead, so it makes sense.
But start off nice with a nice Protoss win. Bring Colgate Warp Gates on. It's like, it feels good. We're starting with the right foot tonight. Like, we're not.
Oh, that's why you
like
brought me on here, so I'd be outnumbered. Terrible.
Exactly.
It's all part of your scheme.
Yeah, but it's just like in the game where one Terran unit is worth about 2 Protoss units, right?
Oh wow. Well, how come, you know, if Protoss is like 50 supply ahead, they can usually win though? It's like 150 to 200. Protoss would win.
Not in my games.
Well, let's start the balance finding in a minute. So, in the top right here, in the yellow, we have King Pie, and hold on, I have to fix the names. So, one of you introduce the purple player.
Alright. In the bottom left, the Zerg player, Art of Turtle.
Oh dear. We're having overlay problems here, but it will be fixed soon.
Oh no.
No, I believe in our brilliant guy running the stream here. He can work OBS. Although, we're having a little bit of overlay troubles, but that's just because we got these hot new overlays from Super Scion. What a great guy that does our graphics works every season. They look fantastic, by the way. He sent us, like, in the little package of stuff. It's like, he sent so many things. I'm like, I can't even use all this. Just too many things. So he really was killing it this season, putting the extra work in.
For sure, they do look amazing. And the splash screens as well, not just the overlay.
Definitely. Looks very nice. Super professional, unlike my casting.
Unlike me messing with the overlay when the stream already started.
Exactly.
Like, I blame Out Turtle. The problem was his name was too long and it went over the border.
Yeah, we need to like have a rule where every name is only like 5 letters long, so it's easier for the casters.
CPL rules.
Well, this is where you make this a very homely kind of league where everyone's like buddies. You just start giving out nicknames to everybody. It's not Art Turtle, now it's Turt. Like, you just kind of shorten stuff up.
Oh no.
You make it happen yourself, man.
There you go.
Why don't you set the latency, please? Because we're getting a bit of Australian lag in here, inevitably.
Oh, I got it. Here we go.
Okay. Alright, no double gateway in base for once. We're finally going to see a normal PvZ. Oh, well, I guess we did yesterday too.
So this is a Forge expand with no probe scout. And
oh, is he not sending it? Oh.
Yeah, that is really surprising to me. Because I feel like one of the nice things about Forge Expand compared to Gateway Expand is that there's so many like little choices you can make in reaction to the Zerg if you scout them. And King Pie has just decided not to do that. It looks like it'll work out fine because Zerg is playing completely as a standard right now, but it could be real scary.
The problem with this, though, is Zerg is getting their hatch down completely unmolested, and Protoss
Yeah,
already has to go
cannon,
because he doesn't have that info. So, I mean, yeah, he's kind of giving up a bit of an advantage there, this being a two-player map. Would you say, is 12 hatch any better because the rush distance is longer? Does that make any sense, or is it just not a thing you do here?
I mean, it seems okay, because I think it might be a little more dependent on if you know what your opponent likes to do. Are they more of a gateway expand person, a forge expand? And you can see King P here. They're pretty comfortable doing a forge expand. They kept the guys at home to get the little extra minerals. It was just like, I'm building a cannon anyway. I don't care. Screw it.
If it was 9 pool, this probe he just sent would see the lings in time for him to pull probes. It would be tight, but it would be possible. But yeah, he's giving up the potential for greed here. But maybe that's just the way he plays. He'd rather just play safe anyway.
I mean, one cannon's like, you try to be as greedy as you can, but one cannon is not the end of the world. Didn't slow it down things too much. Now, if you blindly build 2 cannons, which is the kind of move you might see a little bit in tier 3, people so scared of Zerglings or not having the APM to kind of block off the ramps and all these things, that's where you're kind of getting into trouble, where you're investing a little too much in defense. But one cannon blind, not the end of the world, and really, it's I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, this is most certainly tier 0, I should think, without a turtle in the game, right?
I don't remember offhand where everyone in the groups came from. Everyone we're casting tonight is either in tier 1 or in tier 0. We got some fantastic players. I know we got some names I recognize from just being in CPL as a mainstay, or they're in my team, and then I know like exactly where they're at. So I'm excited to see how things are going out. Now, this probe getting a lot of knowledge, does confirm there is that 3rd hatchery, but the Lings are going to be able to catch it. Catch it? Are they? Oh no! Look at this.
1 HP. Okay, it does go down. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's still pretty early to kill it. It did confirm the 3rd, which is nice, but not confirm the layer that I saw. So King Pie a little bit in the dark here. Like, I was going to say, like, if Art of Turtle is tier 1, he's definitely paid a lot to snipe. That's all I can say about that. So I'm assuming this is definitely tier 0. So for those of you who don't know about CPL, this is like the highest tier of player we should see in CPL is what we're watching right now. So it's going to be pretty skillful, I expect. And so far, you know, both players have really solid openings. And you can see, like, the Ling marker and everything. Everything's pretty high level here.
And no particular shenanigans from anything. King B going for that standard Stargate opener, that kind of great scouting information, prepare you for Mutalisks if they come up, and starting to get some upgrades as well. So all the stuff you're used to seeing from Protoss is, if you play this kind of style in every PvZ you ever play, you're in a great spot. It's a good foundation to learn off of. So if you're struggling to figure things out, just, you know, learn one of these real basic builds. Although a little bit like Vogue, a little out of fashion compared to what we see from the Zergs, it's actually not Hydras first, actually looking like they might make some Scourge, maybe some Mutalisks, and play that kind of old school style instead.
Playing like it's 2019, that 3-hatch Spire. You know, I'm intrigued that he goes for this Overlord sacrifice when it's going to be Spire already. I suppose this Overlord is probably going to get hunted down anyway on the map, but I would have thought, if you don't know what Protoss is doing, you can always just sacrifice some Scourge in here to scout. So that's interesting to me what he's checking for. I guess you want to know earlier if it's Citadel, because then you'd save your lava from Mutalisk. So yeah, I guess I can see it.
Exactly. Coming in at the time where the Corsair's just popping out, and you still have to go in, you still have to scout. So although we've seen King P, he's taking the kill. He doesn't care. He's going to go for it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel like King P is like consistently decided that he doesn't need to scout. Like all game.
Well, we'll see if he's right. The Zealots moving out here, the Lynx could have run past, but opt not to instead try and fight these Zealots a little bit. I don't expect this is going to get anything done. I think.
Look at all these probes even going up. The probes even going up the block, respecting the threat of the backstab of the Speedlings. So a good awareness from KP, not risking anything. Now with the Overlord killed and Art Turtle getting a little supply blocked here, now 2 Cursors on the map, going to be able to start scouting around. But Art Turtle back at home, like they're building a couple Scourge, they're really drawing up hard. That worker count looking pretty healthy for Zerg in this spot, and adding on more hatcheries. So if you go to Liquipedia and it's like ZVP, what build should I do? 3-hatch Spire into 5-hatch Hydra? Exactly. This is your example game.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm intrigued about that Zealot move out. I think if it was such a threat for the Ling counter, King Pie kind of played himself then by not sending that Corsair along the scouting path. But he's here now to see what's going on. You know, I don't know why there are no Scourge here. Oh no, they're there. They're just not in place. Because he had time to morph them before these Corsairs even arrived, since he's just in the first one. Oh, and here they come. So he's forced to retreat almost immediately here. Oh, the flank! Oh, got one. Well, I'm unfortunately not able to kill a Corsair there, but that was a very, very good attempt with those flanking Scourge.
Yeah, that is going to let Kingpy keep his Corsairs alive. We don't see a +1. It looks like he's stopped at 3, which is okay. It's a bit scary when the Zerg already has a Spire, but like the time for Mutas is kind of past. I feel like if Turt was going to go for Mutas, he would have done it already.
Yeah, I mean, you always got to be careful that Muta switch, right? But Zerg doesn't have a super huge economy right now if he wants to get Overlord speed and all those Hydra upgrades as well. And actually getting +1 missile here, so it looks like Zerg going to be dedicated to a Hydra-like game, I expect. But yeah, once +1 finishes, which it has, these Lings become a lot less valuable for sure. So Zerg going to have to rely on Hydra to defend. The Scourge are in position. These Corsairs got to be very careful, so hard to support these Zealots. Well, the Corsairs want to pick a fight. Well, I don't know if it's wise. Well, now these Corsairs are... Oh.
Well, it worked out. Alright.
Scourge are just too dumb. They can't even engage. Nice SimCity at this third here. This looks pretty impenetrable for Zealots. I don't expect anything to happen here. Natural looking pretty well SimCity too. Although these Lings are worth very little. We'll see.
Yeah, I kind of don't like relying too heavily on Zealot pushes on maps like this, where the third only has one narrow ramp up to it, because it's so scary. Like if you commit up that ramp and then you just get flanked by reinforcements for the natural, and you just lose all your Zealots. So I like King Pie's not to commit there. He just kept the Zealots alive, and now he has more for the next push.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think King Pie is looking like he wants to take a third here because he's not adding additional gates. I expect that's what he's going to try and do. So he just wants to put a little bit of pressure on, keep the Zerg honest, I suppose. Yeah, look, he's already moving Zealots more towards this left, so I'm pretty sure he's about to try. Corsair's coming out again. I mean, since he picked up those Scourge, maybe it's safe for them to roam, but the Hydras are plentiful.
Yeah, I think Overlord speed also finished here. All the Overlords actually being protected well by these Hydras, so no real losses here. Gotta be careful not to lose the Corsairs. These Zealots did move up to that third base for the Protoss, but there was a Ling there, so there is knowledge that there's an attempt to take a third here. And look at Arturo immediately moving out on the map with all of your units, realizing, well, if you're going for this Nexus, if you're trying to establish this base, you didn't slam down a pile of gateways, you don't have the unit production, this is my opportunity to try to shut this down or at least slow everything down.
Yeah, this is terrifying. The Swarm is on its way, and there's no Templars at the third. They're both still at the natural. I mean, Ramp's held... Oh, there is one Templar there. Okay, it's probably enough. And you know, oh, he's going to the natural, but I think these two Templars are a big threat, and I don't think it's such a good idea to try this. Okay, nice dodge, actually. Baits that Storm, then moves back. Very nice. Well,
it didn't take too much damage. Confirms that Psystorm is completed. So if they see a Templar, they don't have to worry about anything. Zealot's going to be able to block this up while cannons are trying to get made, but the Nexus still isn't started. There's one Templar up here. Better Storm here. The dodge not quite in time. Doesn't lose units, but a lot of them getting pretty softened up. But Arturo's army still looking very formidable.
Templar, what is it doing?
Oh, free Templar. I think that's a bad rally is what happened there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you don't want all your stuff stuck behind the wall, of course, but at the same time, it's very dangerous with those Templars. Overlord speed finished now, so no DT is going to accomplish anything. But yeah, I think King Pie's just barely deflecting this for now. The cannon's going to be up at the third. And I don't think Arturo's going to be able to deny this. And he's starting to think about his own fourth. Like, he's going to try and come up this ramp again. But if the cannon's there, I don't think it's such a good idea. And sooner or later, that Templar's going to have energy for another Storm.
Yeah, I think Kingpy feeling pretty comfortable. Plenty of Templars here, energy for Storm, a good amount of units and cans being made to help defend this. And with just Hydra, is going to be hard to move through. But Arturo's going to keep poking around, trying to do some damage. But Lurker Aspect finally on the way, and Robo's on the way as well. So I think Observers will be around in time as long as there's no delays getting everything. Arturo's army still looking intimidating, but no attempt to take a fourth base yet. So I feel like the pressure might be here. He has to actually get some damage done because he's not going towards that next step.
Yeah, I think what Zerg intends here is to set up a Hydra Lurker contain before they go for their fourth. I mean, he seems intent on being aggressive, but I think he's just giving King Pie the opportunity to power up when he has no fourth of his own. Okay, bust that gateway, gonna go in and pick up a Templar, and King Pie's not looking. Doesn't even cast a Storm before the first one died, yeah. Oh, he gets two. Well, he did lose a good
so many Hydras coming. We still have
one
more Storm.
Ooh, that's a great start.
That's
great
too much damage.
Ooh.
But he's still coming. He still wants to come in here. I mean, I don't think he's respecting how many reinforcements are available for the Protoss over at the third as well. I think Protoss going to clean up this army. You can forget your Hydra Lurker contain now. That was just way over aggressive.
This was such a nice defense here from King Pie.
Yeah.
He took that third pretty early, and he took that like scary decision to split his army up, but it was like just the right way to split it. And with some good storms, he absolutely crushed that. And now Turt is going to feel pretty bad not having a base coming up.
Yeah, and we can see this is getting to the point where the Protoss army just engages without storms and still wins, and that's where Zerg is in trouble. Although he's actually retreating the Zealot, so I'm not sure about this decision. I think you can
Yeah,
actually
he's like
take
one
this
lurker
fight.
egg. He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, the Observer's going to be out just a minute, isn't it? Isn't the Observatory done? Oh no, he didn't start it, and he still has not.
But no, the Robo was at time, but not the Observatory and all that.
He's still not starting it. This is a big mistake. This is getting...
Oh, that's going to hurt.
Everything looked perfect until that. Okay, 2 lurkers done, but you know, you can potentially snipe these lurkers when they try and move forward, so they're not necessarily going to get to the natural.
Right, I don't think King Pie is in danger from these lurkers, but it is going to give our Turtle more time to recover and do something.
Well, what Ardent Turtle wants to do, right, is set up in this narrow area with a huge lurker field and contain the Protoss, but I think it's already kind of too late with how many Hydras he lost and how long Protoss been on 3 bases. Even if he gets that position, I think Protoss would be able to bust out again here.
I mean, a big part of what we saw from that earlier attack, and even still now, like the Hydras went in, took a lot of free damage. Storm's doing a big work here, but even all the cannons at the front didn't get killed. A gateway got killed, but nothing else. So it's not like you had to spend more money to really keep reinvesting in this. Now, I am a little bit concerned. There's a lot of Dragoons being added here, but no Zealots to help fight this. So it's really going to be Storms that are going to be the only thing to really keep this Hydra army at bay. And we're still waiting on those Observers. The Observatory done, Observer about to pop out, but a lot of Protoss units getting killed off as the Hydras move forward, and there's more Lurkers being made. This might get a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, Protoss really slacking on macro a bit there. Went up to like over 1,000 minerals. Hasn't added that many more gates yet. But he's still producing probes in this 3rd base. So even though the army's not trading so well, he's still ultimately going to be growing here, whereas Zerg is not. Zerg's still only on +1 missile, by the way. Surprised he's not go for +2, whereas Protoss already on 1-1, going to get +2 weapons in just a minute here. Zerg checking for additional bases. Oh, these lurkers caught unburrowed. That is a great pick. Ooh.
Oh, you just go up this ramp.
Well, it's a good trade, even if you lose all these goons, if he gets all those lurkers. He does pull back here. But that was really nice by King Pie, getting just a few lurkers for free. Every lurker counts a lot in this scenario.
I'm still surprised. Finally, a drone moving up over to that 9 o'clock area of about to start 4th base, but it feels very late at this point. You see King P's economy looking great. Survived the weather, all this storm from these Hydras, all this pressure. Finally, be able to break out a little bit, keep the army production going. And I think this is going to be a little bit difficult because now that you see our turtles backing off, trying less hard to reinforce this contain, and a drone getting rallied to the front, this might be that signal. It's like, I think you're trying to defend now. This might be my opportunity to counterattack. Look at all these drones! Oh no!
Okay, Protoss doesn't notice to hunt them down. Oh, there's even more! Oh god. Oh.
Oof.
Alright, they turn around.
I mean, even if you don't kill the drones, seeing a bunch of drones get rallied, you know what your opponent's intending to do. The army production has stopped. You have your opportunity here to kind of get something done. Our turtle, over at that 4th base, does slam down a bunch of hatcheries, but they're pretty far away from actually finishing. But look at this move from King P. He knows where that 4th base is probably, and he's moving his army over there, looking like they're going to get some pressure on.
I think he's just trying to zone to secure his own 4th, actually, but I'm surprised he doesn't go for the counterattack. I mean, this location doesn't look that easy to attack, for sure, but he is at a big advantage right now, so I feel like he could potentially, like, just deny that 4th. And it's a lot easier, I think, for Protoss to just deny the Zerg 4th than take their own, but he's trying to take his own here. And, you know, I'm a bit worried, because this location is quite tough for Protoss to defend. It's very open.
Yeah, I would have preferred like one of the bottom right expansions just to take advantage of that ramp. But with this big army here, if King Pie can keep it in the area, he shouldn't have any trouble keeping that base alive.
Alright, the Protoss army coming up here, but they're like surrounded on all sides by Zerg. Well, those Hydras are not going to do a good job.
They're engaging half that Hydra quote-unquote flank ahead of time. No reinforcements coming from that 4th base. KP managed to find a little section of army, take a pretty good fight. Still no reinforcements for our turtle, taking big losses here.
Oh my
losing
God.
control of that area between the bases. This is not the situation you want to be in as Zerg.
There are no lurkers at this 3rd. There are no lurkers there. I think Protoss can get in there easily.
Yeah.
He's still chasing these other Hydras, but he's missing his window here. I mean, he's still only morphing Hydras at the moment, but...
There's no there's no lurkers at the natural either.
my
Like,
God.
there's the great opportunity.
Oh, that's where he's going to get in. Okay, the Protoss army moving to flank, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Once it's on the move, it's not as effective. Plenty of storms here to stop these lurkers from coming in the back. Oh, and many drones falling already.
Oh, this Templar doesn't have storms by the army, but all his zealots are just in the Zerg base. There's nothing here to stop them.
Yeah, and the Hydrogen about to fall, and that's the only thing Zerg is making here. They don't care about any other kind of unit, so if that dies, they're not going to be able to reinforce for a little while. When it does.
So much threat under this natural. Damage being done here. Mining got stopped. Some of the hatcheries under threat. Now some of these back army from the Pros did manage to get picked off by these Hydras, but the Lurkers still burrowed far away. All the hatcheries end up going down. Spires at the natural as well, so that's another great pick off that could happen pretty easily. But the army for Pros starting to dwindle, but the damage is done. Look at that supply lead. KP almost 100 supply ahead and has that 4th base established up at the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a huge deal, and like I think he can get in the main here because that one lurker blocking the way is killed. The other egg is not well positioned, so there's nothing stopping Protoss from going up and killing all the tech. And I mean, if you do that, Zerg pretty much never wins from that scenario. So many Zerglings on the way right now because he just has no Hydrogen. Another nice storm. Oh my gosh! +3 weapons done for the Protoss, where it's only +1 missile for the Zerg.
I can't believe Protoss has not gone up to the main yet. Like,
well, I guess he's focusing on his
here.
macro and stuff, because you can see he's built another huge army. He's going to try and hit this 4th. There's a few lurkers here to defend, but that's about it. And I think this Protoss army is big enough. Okay, there's lots more units down
look at the Protoss army at the 4th base. There's only a couple lurkers here, but there is an observer. There's enough to definitely overpower this force. And KP moving forward, going to keep putting more pressure on as Archer having trouble consolidating their army for any reasonable defense.
Yeah, that Templar still used both its storms there, so he's not able to go forward and storm the drones, but maybe he can just go forward and Zealots alone. You know, keeping this army at natural actually kind of works. He's cutting off one of the hatcheries from reinforcements as well. But I think Zerg has enough to reflect this attack just with Hydralists here. Well, I don't know. These upgrades for Protoss are pretty OP. Maybe it's good enough.
Okay.
Looks like without a storm he will be forced back here. Nice Locomorph. You don't need a Hydrogen to avoid Morph Lurkers, do you? I was wondering if he rebuilt it. Oh, he must have rebuilt it though, because he is using Hydras again.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Ooh, that Templar getting picked off. Okay, so what does Zerg do from here, right? He's back down to 3 bases. He can't even leave his main, so he's kind of cut off there. Do you try counterattack and pick off a base, or do you have to just consolidate?
I think you have to consolidate, and your move might be to actually go towards the top left here. We were talking about how the 4th base for the Protoss is a little bit harder to defend. This might be the opportunity that if you can get some pressure on, establish that 2-gas base up at the side, and go up to high tech, maybe you get the tech you need here, because our turtle right now is not going to have the economy or the production to actually just win a straight fight. He has to move up. He has to get some tech units to try to sway the battle.
Wow,
there's no hive or even...
base in the bottom right.
Oh. I was going to say, there's no hive or even Queen's Nest on the way though, and +2 missile is still only like halfway for Zerg, so he's been very down on tech because he tried to just mass Hydras and Lurkers only. A couple of DTs being made. I wonder if he's going to try and deny bases with this. Trying to take this top left as well, double gas would be very nice.
Hey, they're +3 attack. Those DTs can just fight in the in vision. They don't care. They're going to kill absolutely everything.
Yeah, for sure. Is +2 armor for Protoss going to finish before +2 missile? I don't think it is.
I think it's going to be very close. Even shield being researched, or can be investing in this ground army. You see a big move out here from the middle. Archer trying to take that top left base like I was suggesting. A couple Hydras moved to the 4th base with so many cans already made. KP being very responsible, adding the extra money into the economy, making sure these bases aren't going to go down. There's going to be no opportunity to even go for this bottom right, so definitely a good spot for KP here. I don't know what Archer can actually do to come back here.
Yeah, look at this like tiny army King Pi has at this bottom right. Once the cannons are up, that'll be enough to hold off pretty much anything. The only thing I could ask for is like a DT on the ramp or something. Yeah, that Zerg's never going to bust that, I don't think, without a huge doom drop or something. Okay, coming up at the weak underside of this 4th right now. Only a few lurkers here, really, and like Zerg has struggled to recover after losing the natural. This Protoss army just looks way too big right now. Nice storm. Oh, and the DT actually coming in at the top. Although, what is he doing? He's too stealthy to take part in the main fight. Oh, there we go. Now it's going to work. GG.
A great game from King Pi.
Yeah, very solid defense to survive that early Hydra pressure. I think if Lurkers were made a little bit earlier, that game could have been definitely different. Or if Archer took the 4th base, where they were really committed to that attack and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, really solid play overall from King Pi. And you know, Archer had a plan. Plan was just I have a lot of Hydras, but unfortunately not quite effective on King Pi there.
Yeah, so I got the next game host up beforehand. Maybe you seen a little chat response. Maybe turn me down just a the littlest, tiniest
Oh,
bit.
this must be the happiest day of your life, right?
No. Like I feel like I don't want to be like judged for my sound quality. But if people are like happy to hear me and they want to hear my commentary, like that does warm my fuzzy little heart.
Okay, so I turned him down a bit. People let me know. Robo by 9 as per Bisu's design, by the way, to the guy asking in chat. So I turned Saetzero down a little. Let me know if he's too loud or what now. Perfect, says Subaru. Alright, let's go. Hey, the people ask. I give the people what they want, you know?
I mean, that's exactly what we're here for. Now we're going into our third game up in the top right in this skin color, like beige, like, this is not a great color. I don't know why you pick it. It's Arca Yenta. Showing a different side, like this Protoss is going to be interesting. And in the bottom left, it's a different Protoss. It's JPack. I know this guy. I've seen him around a little bit, so seeing the PvP to do these two players, I'm excited.
I thought Yenta played Zerg. Is he race pick or is he just switched to
He
Protoss?
switched to
permanently?
Protoss.
He's doing. He's pulling the Jesse. He wants to just start playing around with other races.
Oh dear. Alright, well, we've got a PvP on our hands. Then so JPack definitely more experienced Protoss player then. Well, and in mirror matches that tends to come out more, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, JPack has so much game knowledge. He remembers like games from like 2005,
Wow.
like every map and stuff. Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. JPack does have a lot of game knowledge, but I haven't actually seen him play PvP. And from what I've seen some other matchups, sometimes the micro falters a little bit, and this is not the matchup you want to have your micro falter. If you're in those Dragoon versus Dragoon battles and you can't get that focus fire down or you lose your Reaver with a shuttle, that game sways so quickly. Now, Yenta learning a different race, there's still the mechanics behind it to encourage all these things. If you're playing Zerg before, your micro has to be pretty reasonable to actually function with Zerg.
Yeah, I suppose so. But very different types of micro, like which I was just talking about with Reaver Shuttle. You don't really have to do anything like that as Zerg. You know, I mean, in general, Zerg doesn't really rely on one powerful unit, right? Except, I guess, Defilers. But, you know, that's only later game.
I mean, are we not going to call the Muta Clump one unit? It's one unit. Yeah.
Well, still, the micro is very different, because think about how much HP it has combined then. It's not like you're going to lose it right away. Actually, then Archons show up, and yeah, I guess you can.
Yeah, what do you... Yeah, absolutely.
For once, I have two Protoss players here telling me that Zerg is difficult. I'm amazed. I don't think this has ever happened before.
No, like, they're strong but difficult. I'll say that for every race in this game. All races are good, all races are hard. That's why I hate when people are like, Protoss is brain dead. Not true. Go ahead, play them. You tell me they're brain dead.
Well, okay, let's see what we see in this PvP before we talk about Protoss too much, because some PvPs can absolutely be like two cavemen smashing each other, right?
I mean, you are correct, but that's still then that becomes that classic UMS battle where it's like, I have 6 Dragoons and 1 Zealot, you have 5 Dragoons and 3 Zealots. What's gonna happen?
Who knows?
Yeah, basically becomes micro tournament, I guess. Well, this probe gonna get up and here that Zealot opting not to block the ramp, surprisingly. I think he wants to send it across the map. But JPack made his own Zealot, so that's not really going to accomplish anything. And he kind of gave away the scout unnecessarily there, because JPack scouted a bit late. We'll see what he sees.
Actually, a little bit of curiosity. Hopefully, if this probe doesn't get all the way to the top, hiding that second pylon only in the top corner, making think maybe there's a little proxy action, maybe a little bit of a misdirection. So you have to try to play the mind games a little bit. I'm not sure if JPEG actually got high enough to actually see it, but will right now. It unfortunately didn't. The little gambit didn't work.
You know, Yenta's not getting range though. Did he want to put a citadel down, but he can't because of this probe, or what's going on here? Like I don't know. He's just skipping it.
Yeah, but he's already gone ahead and got the second gate, which could be a part of a DT build, or it could be part of some other builds.
Oh, maybe he's trying to fool him. Maybe he's putting no range. Oh, okay, just starts then.
Capture
No,
curve.
No, I don't take it back. I say he could still be doing that as like a fake out. Like, oh yes, here's my range when it's actually +1 weapons. And JPack seeing that so late might be going, oh god, it's DT. Go for observers, whereas Yenta could actually just expand there and do high ground Reaver. But he doesn't have a power position for that, so now I'm not so sure. We'll see what tech option he does go for.
Yeah, I mean, there's always those kind of things to play about, but even if you look at the gas the Yenta has, it's like, oh, why didn't he start range? It still costs 150 minerals. If you're trying to add on more get the pylons on to not interrupt your build times or anything, it's very reasonable that it's like, oh, it's actually kind of hard to get range if you're a little bit out of sorts or trying to play a little bit creative. Now we see JPack, the units are already a little bit on the map here, trying to stay outside that natural, which if you poke forward as Yenta and see that, that might be that indication like, ooh, I think they're trying to expand, but JPack back at home, just getting 2 gateways worth of units. No choice for a robo yet, no choice for more gateways. I'm a little bit curious to see what the choice is going to be, because either way, it should be started by now.
Yeah, I feel like what happened here is that JPack like reacted to the second gate from Yenta, and now he's like stuck in this mode where he's waiting for an attack to come from Yenta, which is which is about to come, but actually JPack has more units now.
Oh, this is bad. You gotta get
very nice focus fire.
It's micro tourney though. 2 goons, 2 zealots versus 4 goons. I guess is too many. I was gonna say 4 goons.
Yeah, four goons are too many. You don't want to be taking that.
Okay, so this
anymore.
has changed from micro tournament to impossible scenarios. That's what it is now.
Well, no, because as any pros player will definitely be able to tell you, one of the hardest things you could do in PvP is, oh, I got to their natural. I could just go in their main. I just go up the ramp. I just go in the ramp. Like, there's no way that actually happens.
Now with Defender's Advantage, Yenta has a chance to take a fight here. Decent micro from both sides so far. I think this will end in pretty much a stalemate because more rare reinforcements will come for Yenta soon.
Oh, yeah.
Nice micro.
Well, oh, there we
Wow.
go. Nice focus fire.
Yeah, that was really well done. But the Zealot gets heaps of damage here. Oh my god, 1 HP Dragoon. Wow.
Yeah, so Yenta winning a little bit of that early micro tournament. Now, I love the decision in the backfield. We kind of weren't talking about it, but all these units coming out from JPack moving forward, you see that, oh, it's just Dragoon production, it's nothing crazy. And we see Yenta back at home actually opting in, getting a 3rd gateway, going for observers, has the robo, but knows he doesn't need to worry about getting a Reaver just yet. Just more grounders are going to be able to do the job. While back for JPack, still on 2 gateways, a very late robo, no power units on the way. Yenta's spot looks significantly better as far as the production goes back at home, but JPack's supply is significantly ahead because Yenta looks like they're cutting probes.
Yeah, and JPack has to be really careful here with engaging. He does pull back when he sees how many goons there are, yeah, because Yenta just has the superior goon count with these 3 gates. Well, high ground counts for something, right? Looks like JPack gonna get the Reavers before Yenta. This becomes a bit dangerous if Yenta has to defend this low ground.
Well, you see, it's just going to be going for Nexus, and like we were saying, like that Robo's just for observers, just to not die to DTs. If you skip the Reaver tech and you can keep the money up, but there's a big fight actually happening outside his natural. JPack not going to see the Nexus, but good micro from both sides before the target firing for Yenta a little bit better, and doing some pretty good damage to his goon count, be able to reset it, have more gateways back at home. Yenta wins that little fight, it keeps the pressure off, and it buys time for that Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that Yenta kind of just like went on top of him there. He didn't try and stay back. And it was a pretty even trade, even though Yenta had more goons. And here we go again, but this Zealot still getting so much value. It's been here since the start of the game, just doing its damage. It's kind of crazy how much it's achieved.
I mean, Zealots are one of the things that can sway these goon fights. Either they absorb shots for you for free, or they just get in there while you're trying to focus fire. You're not really kiting back as much as you feel like you should be. You know, Yenta does finally get this established up. Like, you see JPack moving back home. The Observer moving across the map. It's going to get there and see a lack of a Nexus, but Shuttle's here. The Reaver about to pop out. If JPack gets a little more production on the way, this might be the opportunity to move forward, or they could just accept the loss and get the late Nexus and be behind economically.
Well, I think accept the loss is the way to put it then there, because I think JPack has to kill this Nexus or he's going to lose the game, because it's been up for too long and JPack is going to be too far behind. And I think he will try and do just that. Now, in theory, JPack has the advantage of this Reaver, but it always comes down to micro. I wonder if he's putting those 4 goons just for that reason, to try and snipe a shuttle here. See this movement from Yenta? I'm intrigued about that. Because
I think he's spreading an arc for when the army of JPack comes down.
Right.
I think.
Right, because I feel like...
Yeah, I wish he was taking advantage of the high ground, though.
Yeah.
But the longer it takes JPack to actually move out, it looks like he decided to go back and just make a Nexus, which I don't think is going to work out, because this one from Yenta has been up for so long. Even though he's still down on probes, I guess. But we're got to 5 gateways, so this gateway lead is going to make these Reavers not very valuable, I think.
Yeah, well,
I'm thinking that...
Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say, I think the move we're seeing from JPack here is he's waiting for the second Reaver to come out, but making sure he's back at home, that he can defend the Nexus if there was something happening here. And as long as he attacks before Yenta gets the Templar attack, because you see, skipping the Robo, the support bay, not gonna be able to make Reavers, but starting a Citadel, so they're moving towards Storm, but it's still gonna be a while before you have Storm finished, before you have Templars ready. As long as JPack can attack before that timing happens, it's still pretty reasonable. They had a bigger worker lead. If you look at right now, the supplies are about even, so Yenta's actually not as far ahead you would think.
Yeah,
I think it's just probes. Yenta could easily be up like at least 10 more probes at this point.
Oh yeah, he's not even building them right now, which is pretty surprising, given he only has 30 all up. That's actually a big mistake. I feel like JPack heard me say like he has to kill this Nexus, and he's like, no, I don't. Like, I'll just get my own. What are you talking about, Neblime? And so he's just going to try and win it while doing that. He's also going to come in here for an attack. Okay, so these goons kind of cut off. Wait. He's splitting them. Really, what you want to be doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, the shuttle.
Yeah,
the shuttle goes down.
Shuttle.
Well,
that's not what you want to be doing here.
I guess that worked out, and now he just has more goons.
Oh,
no. Leaves. GG.
I 100% understand. You lose 2 Reavers in a shuttle to be in a fight when your opponent has the same amount of goons you on one side, but they have 2 sides that are about to collapse on you. And they got the fast Nexus. Yenta choosing that good build order, realizing that they could just keep on ground units, make it simple, especially if you're, a little bit newer to Protoss. The Reaver micro is a hard thing. Going to a lot of Dragoons is not.
Yeah, I feel like the way that we got there was a little unusual, but that 3-gate Obs build is like a very good, like safe, like I don't want to die to stuff kind of build.
Yeah, for sure. I guess you really have to babysit that Reaver, because I think it didn't really react and move as he came into attack. So I think he just wasn't paying attention to it at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure he was macroing or something.
Yeah.
Well, a big part of that too is you saw the shuttle right with Dragoons right in the middle of the whole thing. That was really the big problem that we saw there.
All right, in the top right, in the pale green, it's HKL, and in the bottom left, in the red Terran, it's Intact, playing Terran. In fact, that's surprising. I thought he played Protoss. But he's something of a legend in CPL, maybe for all the wrong reasons, but nonetheless.
Hold on. I need some backstory. Why is he a legend then?
Yeah, you can't just bring that up. I don't know what's going on.
Well, for A, cheesy builds, B, bad mana, and C, not leaving the game. So, but he has achieved some amazing wins that I've seen. Where there was one game I remember he went 2-gate proxy against Protoss, and Protoss got a Nexus up and built a shield battery, had Dragoons and everything, and he lost all his zealots. But he just doubled down, made 2 more gates on one base, just came in with so many zealots and killed the guy anyway. Well, so far being pretty polite. But another thing he did, I was telling you in the other stream, he said easy after his opponent left, so we only got to see it in the past.
He was that guy.
Another game I saw against Crazy, he proxied, and his proxy got found, and he ended up just AFKing the game, running around making pylons. These are all official CPL matches, by the way, so I'm calling you out, Intact. Come on.
I feel like I should have screened this, but he did earn the way. You saw it in the chat.
I don't mind casting him at all, but we're just going to call out his behavior,
Well, no, I'm gonna call out his performance for the current season CPL. He was saying in the chat that his week 1 he went 4-0, which is a fantastic start, especially if they're switching races. And everyone I grabbed from these groups is all tier 1, tier 0 players, and I grabbed people in their preseason week 2 group that topped the tables, that did the best job they could. So he did well in week 1, he did well in week 2, and so even if he's a little bit BM, he's just definitely killing it so far this season. Deserves to be here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I complain about your mana, but at the end of the day, your tier and everything will depend on how you play, of course. So, going for a pretty normal hatch first, everything seems normal. I wonder if Zerg's going to go for 3-hatch here. If we're going to see more 2019 builds, Zerg's going for 3-hatch Lair and, 3-hatch Spire and 3-hatch in TVC. What are we watching? Are these the right season, Saetzero?
I mean, you keep saying 2019. To me, 2009. 2019 is not that long ago, and it felt like it was still that whole Rise of Soma, 2-hatch everything, every game, kind of the era of Zerg.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. He denied the pool position, by the way. Not that I think Terran really cares. Zerg really cares that much, but he delayed it by a few seconds. That's quite nice. So he's gonna come up. Actually, here. Sorry, you go.
Actually, a little bit of a.
But the SCVs follow the drone.
That's not what I'm looking at right now. Look at the Terran base. He is not taking an expand at all. This is what I'm talking about. Intact, likes the cheesy build. So I assume what he's going to do here is try and make the Zerg think he's expanded, but then come out with a stint timing way faster than Zerg would ever expect. for a 2-base build. Of course, the Overlord... Sorry, you go.
No, I was gonna comment on the Zerg base back at home because one of the things we saw.
What is going on?
I think it's just to pull drones. I don't think it's any.
You know what?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you can cancel and you're pulling things, you're slowing things down a little bit. You see an SUV down with the natural. It feels reasonable, but HKL got that, snuck in a couple extra drones before the pool went down, delayed the gas, and actually got a third hatchery in base. So they're gonna have plenty of larvae to deal with here. If Intact's going for some kind of crazy pressure, they should be able to make the amount of lings they need to help defend against it.
Yeah, the thing is, I think he's gonna realize there's no expansion because okay, there is an expansion. Okay, well now I am confused. I don't know what Intact's up to here.
I think it's just too good.
If he's just going to come out with a bunch of unstim marines, because you never go 2x before expansion in TBZ normally, because you need to tech up to Academy fast enough to do like 2-hatch timings. And also you're just delaying your expansion for nothing, because you see he's even using these barracks. So I don't know if it's just a mistake, or he's trying to mind game the Zerg on both levels, who knows.
Well, actually, the Overlord for HKL, slightly too far away, doesn't actually confirm that there is a CC being made. So it might not be fully aware of it. A couple lings on the map are going to pull forward, but there's enough lings here to back it off. Doesn't go far enough. Actually does not confirm that there is an expansion on the way.
Well, based on what Zerg's doing so far, I think he's just assuming Terran will expand. Which is kind of unfortunate, because if Intact went for this one-base stim timing, I think it would have worked out, but alas. Maybe Intact was thinking if that bunker finishes, I'll send all my Marines out. Maybe Zerg won't notice in his sneaky spot. I don't know. I guess we will never know really what the plan was with that, because he's just going into kind of normal play here. And since this is a 3-hatch build, he has plenty of time to get his stim and everything up.
Well, I love this normal play from this Zerg. 3-hatchery lurker, no mutas at all. This is the kind of thing that can really abuse some weird bio openings that maybe are going to miss their timings a little tiny bit here.
Well, he does have his comp stats coming up fairly fast, and lurker aspect hasn't even begun actually, because that hydrogen was a bit late. So he's not going to be caught off guard by this, but Zerg can set up for like very large like lurker drops from this, or you can get your third with like a very strong defense with this kind of play. Oh, eBay's pretty late. Okay, so he scans, sees the hydrogen. That's all he really needs to see. Immediately throws down that second bunker. I think that's smart, just in case Zerg tries to attack at the front. That said, it is a 3-hatch timing, so it's not actually physically possible for lurkers to be out yet. But getting prepared early is Intact.
I mean, even if this, we're seeing from Intact, look, another bunker being placed forward, so scared right now, respecting whatever he thinks is about to happen, but HKL back at home actually has the worker lead Intact. I think cutting a little SUVs, trying to get all the things at once, but kind of delaying things in a weird way, and you can see HKL has a drone up to 12, looking like they're trying to take that next base, but even if they just don't do anything and sit back at home, they're going to have that lurker tech, they're going to have a decent economy. I love this spot from Zerg right now, and Intact's got to make something happen.
Yeah, I think Intact is kind of more preparing for a 2-hatch lurker timing right now, but it's going to be quite a while till lurker's actually finished. He's going to get them in position to block this ramp. There's no way he's going to move out and kill that third, I don't think. So yeah, Zerg getting their third base up, and that's what they're always aiming to do in the early to mid game. That's like their main objective.
Yeah, I think this is the real strength of the 3-hatch lurker, right? Like, it doesn't have to do a damage like a 2-hatch lurker does. You can just defend your third base, especially on a map like this with a tiny ramp, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, actually, is this a positional imbalance? Is that ramp for HKL smaller than the one for Intact, or not? I always thought that type of ramp had less space, but maybe not.
I don't think so. I think that would get called out so long ago. Clips has been around for a while at this point.
Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so try to send a scout SCV. Wants to confirm that third about sending a scan if he can. Oh, speedlings are pretty fast though. Wow, he's making it further than I would have thought, but it will get taken out before it gets there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. Okay, luck is finally morphing.
Stim.
Huh?
There's a stim from the Marines.
Oh, yes.
Is it right out here?
Yeah, the lings that are up on the front of the map ended up getting taken out without any issue. Now, if HKL playing in the dark here might be thinking there's a move out here, but Intact killing those and immediately pulling back, still staying very defensive, building up. But if you look at HKL's base, that Queen's Nest is complete. The Hive on the way, rushing for Defilers with Lurkers, completely skipping all his fire techs, going to speed everything up. And if Intact doesn't scout this out and smell what to do, this might be very dangerous for the Terran.
I think what Intact intends here is to hit with a vessel just before Defilers are out, but I think if Zerg plays their cards right, they will be able to just delay, and as soon as Dark Swarm's out, that kind of push just gets pushed back instantly. But yeah, I don't think Intact's gonna wait too long. I expect he'll start moving out with his tanks.
Do you think these two lurkers outside the Zerg natural? Do you think they're on hold position?
Oh yeah, probably, given where they are. I think that's quite likely, yeah. Because if Terran comes up, is hanging around the third, wants to move between those two spaces, that's a great place to put those lurkers. But, you know, Intact not going to take the bait and actually head across the map. I think he's just waiting for his tech units to be ready. Science facility on the way. Second Evo coming up. Zerg really playing the long game for these Ultras here. Although he hasn't started +2 carapace. Finally Intact moving out, so you go.
Yeah, just curious that we're seeing Intact being so slow to move out. And the Lings are actually going to bypass this entire army. Is there stuff back at home to defend? Actually, look at all the Marines still in the bunkers. 4 in both bunkers here for Intact. So very defensive. I'm actually surprised to see him move out if he has so much back at home for defense. This seems dangerous as a Terran player.
I mean, it's not a big deal at this point in the game. Like, those 8 Marines are going to kill quite a few, and then how many Lings are really going to be in your base? Like, 4 Lings? What are they going to do? You know, you've got SCVs, not probes in this matchup, remember?
Yeah, but I gotta actually like low-key, like we're talking about some of these weird strategy systems. I gotta really commend HKL. Look at this build. The way he's spending his money is so good for this late in the game right now. By the amount of way, everything's really optimized. This is a very planned out build here. Loses a couple more links to this army that Intact's trying to push out with, but if he can wait and delay enough time for this Dark Swarm, he's gonna have a very potent force to work with here with this Hive Tech. And Intact's scanning around trying to find more bases. See that HKL's only on 3.
Oh, his lurkers!
Read. Yo!
Oh no!
Well, what's he gonna wait for? Oh, he reveals him a bit early, I think, but still good damage. Oh, takes out quite a few.
No scan yet.
Wow. Maybe he has no energy. I think he used it all, so HKL.
Oh,
he has one scan.
Yeah.
That was well worth it.
Lurkers get out too. Oh yeah.
6 Marines didn't even lose over them. Do you reckon he's gonna hold again, like just right there?
Why not?
So the Science Vessel finally on the way, and obviously they'll stop the whole lurker shenanigans. These Lings really look like they want to counter. Oh, can they get this tank? That would be a huge pick-off. Looks like they will. Oh, that's a great move for Zerg here. Trying to drive away, but it's no good.
Very nice.
Wow, we're going to get all these Marines too. That's a big deal. Like, 1 tank is really not threatening. Ideally, Terran wants like 3 tanks here. Running back to the bunkers. You know, if he's going to go for this all-out attack, though, I really think he should just empty them and, you know, just whatever pops out of the barracks will have to deal with any Lings that run in.
Yeah.
Okay, forced back to his natural again. Zerg's really just keeping him back, so he can't even put any pressure on at the natural. Nidus coming up, Consumes on the way. Looks like Zerg's getting all the pieces together, and Intact's struggling to leave his base. Alright, now the vessel is out, though. Hopefully you feel confident to come across here.
I mean, you're a Terran player. Like, this spot can't feel comfortable right now. The drone count's not bad for HKL. All the tech is there. Working on upgrades as well. That +1 melee upgrade on the way. And finally getting Inspired now, just in time for Scourge to start dissuading some of the Science Vessels. So everything really timed out from HKL. Pretty optimized. Looking like they're very aware of what they're trying to do here. It's not like the army I'm seeing from Intact here, but he keeps getting forced back to his natural. Keeps having to retreat. And HKL's position looking very strong.
Well, I'm glad he didn't hold those lurkers and the vessels out, so they will be able to shoot out a bit before they die, but yeah. Nice job there by Tech cleaning those up. I mean, this base doesn't look that well defended right now. The Nidus is not quite complete. Can he get up here before the Dark Swarm is out? He even irradiates one of those lurkers. I mean, I think he might be able to get in
Defiler
there.
coming in.
Ooh,
Dark
that Swarm's not really helping out. Okay, here come the lurkers. Well, I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking you just stim and run up the ramp and say, okay, you enjoy your Dark Swarm. Here he goes. He's going to do it. He needs to take out that Nidus ACP, but he's going to get in there. The tank's even kind of living up to their name for once and blocking this Zerg army trying to come up behind. Lurker Spine's doing a lot of damage, though. Oh, there's so many Lurkers coming out that Nidus, actually. I think this Terran army's sandwich, and that's it. GG.
Yeah, I don't love that attack from Intact there. Like, even if you get up the ramp, you're trapped. Like, you're never going to be able to work your way out. You saw how much army was behind. And Dark Swarm's going to make sure you're never going to be able to escape there. So, I think HKL, like, just playing nice and safe and Intact overextending on that attack really cost him right there.
Well, I disagree. I think it was the right idea to go up there. Because even if it all gets cleaned up eventually, if you trade well, like, you kind of just want to do that with Bio. But the problem is he didn't kill the Nidus right away. He needed to stim in the first place, then just rush for that Nidus so nothing else can come up, then you just hold the ramp. It's going to take too long for Zerg to Dark Swarm up there, and you're going to kill like all the drones probably and the base. But yeah, he just didn't execute quite well enough.
I mean, it wasn't just Bio. Remember, there was a couple techs, a couple Science Vessels. That's a lot of things to lose back at home when Intact still hasn't established their space. They weren't adding on a ton of production. Like, I don't know. It just felt a little overly aggressive.
You got to remember how cheap Bio is, right? Yes, he's going to lose a couple gas units. I mean, in theory, the vessel can survive too. But like, if you're trading just these 50 mineral marines for like drones and stuff, you're doing really well. So, anytime you just kind of get past the Zerg defenses and start trading instead of just being dead stopped by Darkstorm, it's totally worth it. All right, in the top right here, in the teal, we have Rufus. And the bottom left, in the peach, it's Fazek. TVP. Nice. Saw one TVP already today. Let's see if this goes any differently.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be amazed if we saw as many SCP kills in this game as we did in the last one.
Well, I know it could be that Storm Drop style, you never know. Hey, is this a different version of Eclipse? I don't remember having these patterns of, like, broken stuff in the main.
Yeah, this is the one from the BSL, the Bombastic Eclipse or whatever.
Oh, why do we keep plugging BSL and CPL? We need a CPL version. There's CPL logos on the minimap and stuff.
Go ahead, you get on it. I'll play it.
Yeah,
I ain't making it.
I told someone else. I know how to do triggers and stuff, but don't ask me to make, like, an actual map. The actual, like, terrain part of it, I'm bad.
I mean, I still love that little experiment we did the one night with the let's just start swapping. We started swapping numbers around.
Yeah, that was good fun. Hey, anytime you got any other idea, I'm happy to do it again. Not sure what else we'd swap though. So it turned out vultures are still the most OP unit in the game, even if you make them marines.
Yeah, the whole thing, like, while the game's gearing up, like, we made this little custom map where it's like, take 2 units and you can swap any one set of numbers from them. So it's like, well, what if you swap the damage from a zealot onto a probe or something like that?
What we did is we swapped the cost of an interceptor to a probe. So probes cost 25 minerals.
Nice.
And I think we swapped the like HP as well. So what you do is at the start of the game, you just send like 2 probes to harass because you don't need that many to keep building probe. It was good fun. And like I would be building my
marine.
Yeah, because we swapped vulture damage and marine damage. Oh, that was good fun. But like I said, if you got any other ideas, like hit me up. I want to try other things like that. Okay, so
my coaches will yell at me if I play nonsense instead of actually practicing.
So finally, my eyes have been relieved by Terran doing an actual SimCity here. So this looks a lot nicer. Of course, Roof's not going for any forward gateway or anything like that though. So of course it's wasted now that Terran actually does it. It's just the nature of it, I guess.
That's just how it works. When you play safe, they don't attack you.
Exactly. Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't spoil my match for this week, so I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something, but I won't.
I mean, you won't be there to cast it. We're not going to make you cast your own game.
Why would we ever do that to someone? That'd be weird.
I know what we're talking about. You're just planning to take a little break later, maybe.
You can take over the observing somehow, I don't know. No, you just sit there not saying much until, like, we say, oh, Cold Roberts made a mistake here, and you say, actually,
like, no.
because of this.
Exactly.
Oh, no, we're going to ask, like, what the hell were you thinking,
what were you
dude?
thinking? Wow. I can't imagine you did that.
That's good. We should do that. We should cast games with both of the players in there, so we can be like, "Why did you do that? Or like, why didn't you stop that drop or whatever?"
Oh, that sounds like a kind of interesting coaching thing to do.
Man, that could be interesting. Or even just like if you had like in separate channels. But I mean, we're actually getting into the game a little bit now. And guess what? Both players doing so standard, nothing crazy. One gateway range on the.
This probe over here hanging out the third base.
He's up to no good, Saetzero, I tell ya.
There's no third pylon yet.
There's no way this probe is on an innocent scouting mission. Just no way.
Oh no. Okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna make the hard call out just for you.
Yeah.
It's out of the way, so it doesn't die to Marine, so it can come back in later and confirm the CC. That's it. That's it.
3,
out of the way.
1. Oh, so the pylon.
He built a Nexus instead. He can still build a pylon though. He can still do it. Perhaps you're right. Well, he's not going to confirm a CC anyway because we have a FD coming up here. I feel terrible now. I've falsely accused this probe.
Well, you don't need to feel terrible. Like, all these pros players, we have something here. One Dragoon moving forward. Sees no CC, sees no bunker, and the Marine's finally moving out right now. It's like, oh crap, we were supposed to, like, block the scout of this kind of stuff. So, Rufus here has one Dragoon up forward, going to be able to try to slow things down, but you're seeing mines being laid, one tank made, another one behind it, so maybe a little bit of that stronger kind of FD waiting for 2 tanks going to be able to move across the map.
Hey, you just gave me a new rhyme, Saetzero. How do you describe FD? One tank made, mines being laid.
Oh, so this Marine went to the third base, and the
Ooh.
probe got out.
Christ, dude. I hate you.
You did
I
it
hate how
yourself.
good you
You
are
did it
teaching
yourself.
things.
That's
No,
it. That's it.
I'm not allowed to teach Terran players. Get the fuck out of here.
So yeah, he saw that probe. I don't know what he thought of that. If he thought it's up to no good as well, or if he saw past the prejudice and realized it was an innocent probe and let it go. Oh, okay. 2 tanks actually coming up here, which is a bit unorthodox. Normally you don't do that unless you're going for a lot more Marines here. But nonetheless, it will give him a bit of a stronger push here. And Protoss expanding off 1 gate will have a bit of a hard time stopping this. Using the high ground quite well so far. That's exactly what you want to do here. You want to pick off the Marines, and then when Terran gets to your base, suddenly you have naked tanks and you kill them.
Yeah, trying to slow things down a little bit, getting a little bit of kills here and there. A couple of Marines taken out. There wasn't SCVs to replenish this either. These Dragoons, they took some shield damage, but not really taking hold. Rufus doing a good job trying to get whatever they can here, as long as they're not taking any significant damage. And another one, all the shields gone, but no health actually taken. Rufus doing the best job they can to help delay this. The Nexus is complete. Plenty of things here. Defender's advantage should kick in. And I think Rufus might be able to defend this, but still has to be careful how they engage.
Yeah, it looks like Terran doesn't really want to commit to going in there. Oh, I say that. Oh, has to curse again. Here he goes. Okay, yeah, no, he's not going to. You have to be careful here, because if you lose both these tanks, you are in a bad position. So Terran generally is fine with just kind of zoning, making sure they can lay mines on the Protoss third or wherever they want to lay them, and just keeping Protoss honest here. Killing this pylon would actually be really nice, although he's in here with 1 tank. There we go. Oh, but there's a lot of goons out now, and no mines are laid here, because the Vulture actually stayed home, laid mines for DTs instead, just in case. But hey, this is well worth it for Terran already. Killing that pylon is actually a big deal when he hasn't even lost a single tank, but there's a lot of goons here. I'm worried that if Terran doesn't pull back soon, he might lose all this stuff. It looks like Protoss going to step forward, takes out 1 tank instantly, the other one's going to run for its life, but I know, man, goons are pretty fast. Is it going to make it? Oh my gosh. Go, go, go. Shift up a gear, why are you so slow? Oh, they're coming.
It's a tank. Its alternate mode is never moving again.
That's right. It has 2
looking
gears.
for.
It has 2 gears. Gear 0 and 1. Oh.
Gonna be able to take this down. All these Terran units getting taken out pretty good here. Rufus having a decent spot on the map now with Dragoons, so they're gonna be able to keep control. Now back at home for Fezzik, working on that army, so looking like it isn't gonna be some kind of crazy 5-fact push or anything. At least gonna get some kind of upgrade. Here comes some pressure. The Mon doing some good damage to Sweden. There's 1 tank up at the high ground. Siege mode's about to complete, but still this barracks taking some pretty significant damage. And with repair going down, don't want to have to rebuild that barracks before you add more factories later.
Yeah, so I think it would have been worth it if Terran just pulled back immediately after killing that pylon and had like a mine to hold off the goons. He would have been in a great spot. But now, remaking Marines, like you have to repair, this is just painful. And Protoss already starting a 3rd Nexus. Even an observer watching everything he does.
Take a long time before Phasic can do anything on the map, really.
Yeah, for sure. Although it depends what he's going for here. If he's just going to turn on a 3rd base, which it looks like he is with the Armory Academy, he doesn't really mind. Oh wait, it's already started, so there you go. He's just going to wait till a certain number of tanks and inch his way over there. So neither player really trying to bring this game to an end, unlike the other TVP we saw. Citadel coming up pretty much a regular time for Arbiter here. So I guess when Saetzero said they're both playing standard as possible, I should have listened to him. I shouldn't have doubted.
It's CPL 6, man. New year, new me. I'm predicting things that actually happen, not just wild accusations.
Well, look, I've been hurt too many times. All right, so when I see a probe hanging out there, that's just what I think.
I mean, that seems pretty reasonable that you're so scared but they could proxy all the buildings, but not everyone wants to do it here. What are these probes doing up at the 12 o'clock?
They weren't mineral walked, they were just regular walked, and the goon is walking. Although now they're walking through the goon, so I don't know.
Because he didn't have vision of the minerals until
there you go.
finished, so he just clicked on the minerals, so they just on move command. There we go. They're getting in there one at a time. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, some of them made it.
Yeah. Some of them figured it out.
So I think what we're seeing over from Fazzik is going to be that real slow kind of style. The armory, the +1 weapons near completion, but there is the starport on the way. I think you're going to be able to work towards that science facility and then get that +2 rolling. So I don't expect to see anything before at least that. The CC is done moving towards that 9 o'clock, and Rufus doesn't have any presence on the map to kind of dissuade this. So basically going to be able to take their 3rd base without any issues. And they don't look like they're setting up for a fourth of their own. Although with the buildings being made, 3-base Arbiter, that classic Protoss build you see so many times.
For sure. I mean, I think Rufus is content to just let Terran inch over to this third base in his own time. Because his third base is up fairly fast, but you do want to take a 4 fairly soon after this. Okay, finally the probes have made it to their destination. And yeah, like I was saying, I want to see a 4th base up from Protoss though, or I will start to get worried. Maybe I should be starting to get worried. Okay, the Arbiter tech's going to be coming up before too long.
A bunch of gateways too. I think with this many gateways, I don't think Rufus is really gearing up to take a quick 4th.
Okay.
I mean, but it's still not that many gateways for how many probes he has and 3 like basically fully operational bases here. Like that's not enough gateways where it's like, oh, I'm struggling to spend my money. But as I say that, more gateways going down. Rufus wants to make sure we know what it's about. 3 bases all I need.
This is a clean base layout. I like it a lot. And very deliberate, like anti-vulture positioning. I think. Like look up here how this is blocked as well, the Templar archives. So I'm really liking that. People in chat talking about whether ladder's a good place to learn the game. I reckon, you know, you need to learn not on ladder, but you also, if you've never played ladder, there are a lot of ways you can lose that you'll never know. So
playing the game is a great way to learn the game.
That is
period
true.
of wherever you play it.
That is true. Well, I think there's a lot to be gained though from like practice partners as opposed to ladder.
Yeah. I mean, I think practice partners is better, but like you can't reasonably have a practice partner literally 100% of the time that you play this game, right?
Of course.
And playing with somebody that you don't know and like you don't know how they play is also a big deal. Like they're having a scout and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, honestly, you know, it's a great place to learn how to play this game. Sign up for CPL. Get on that wait list. Get some coaches in your life.
Yeah, when you got a team of 40 people, guaranteed you'll have a practice partner 100% of the time. And
yeah, fair enough.
Some really very good players. Did you know we have friggin' Rhett on CPL? Isn't that amazing? Like that's just one of our many.
We do?
coaches.
Oh, I didn't realize we had Rhett.
Yeah, right.
It's not my team.
Well,
wow. Oh wow.
Don't break the illusion that like everyone can be coached by Rhett.
Hey, the coaches I got are great. I am thrilled to have them as well. I'm a little sad to not have G5. He's my kind of play, but that's okay. It's okay. I still gonna get great coaching whenever I want it, but I'm too busy casting to actually play. So you know what? It's whatever.
Protoss not taking the 3rd gas here, but back going really solidly. So I can only assume it's deliberate. He's going for a pretty zealot heavy style here, I think. I would have thought you want a 3rd gas though, so you get more arbiters. But nonetheless, he's living his best life, just going for this zealot heavy style, getting recall first.
No, he got stasis already. That's already researched, so it's not a big deal. And you don't really need that 3rd gas as much because you see it's still 1 Stargate Arbiter. He didn't put on that 2nd one to really churn them out and really get the production going. So it's not nearly as gas intensive as you see with some builds, and they've seen just a lot of gateways being made, cans being added on, that 4th base being established for Rufus. Well, back at home, Fazik's just kind of gearing up here, getting all those upgrades, +2, +1, nearing completion, more factories getting odd. Is this layout for the factories good, where that left her a little
you know
staggered?
me too well. I was just about to mention it. Look, it's okay, but the problem is if recalls, see on where the machine shops are, this is a very narrow path. If Protoss is like down in the bottom half of the base, Terrans are never going to get back in there. It's going to be hell.
They should really have some kind of ability to like move their buildings around, you know, to fix that kind of problem. That'd be really cool.
I mean, it doesn't move the machine shops. If they could lift all the machine shops, move them, sure. But like, you can't lift when there's a recall there. You need to keep making stuff too.
Sure.
Like, if you stop building stuff while you're being recalled, you are screwed because you need those.
All right, I was trying to make a meme. All right, I was. It's serious.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. If you want to lift all your buildings while I'm recalling, that seems good to me. I think it's pretty good.
Protoss players approve. Okay, Protoss actually coming in here, by the way. Stasis is ready, and he's not going to waste any time. The Terran army's very clumped. He's not prepared with an EMP or anything like this. Oh, gets the vessel. And so many.
Gets the vessel, so he's down, but the Arbiter goes down before I can keep everything cloaked off at home. The EMP Shockwave, not researched yet, but this is a great engage from Rufus. Look at all the surface areas hitting. The tank's getting picked off without any issues at all. Only a couple vultures left at the top side. Big fight for Rufus, taking a big lead here. They can either move towards that natural, or what I want to see is them move up towards that 3rd that's only lightly defended.
I mean, I don't know. That seems pretty formidable to me, trying to get up that ramp of all those mines. I don't foresee Protoss busting this, actually. But that was a great attack. He reset, like, most of the Terran army. I think Terran's main mistake there was having no mines to the right here. And you really need to watch out for that on this map, because it's a great place for Protoss to attack from, coming down that ramp, and it's so wide. But yeah, look at this. I mean, this is kind of just suicide for the Protoss trying to actually get in here. But here comes the football team to clear out those mines, and that'll make it a lot easier.
Is that the football team's job?
That's what I call a group of zealots. They're a football team. Boom, there they go. Dude, a group of speed zealots charging in. That's a football team. That's the like.
Yeah, I know. I just imagined like a football team running into a minefield.
Oh my god, that did a lot of damage.
Very nice. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Terran players complain about this map. Oh my god. Well, I've seen Terran players complain about that too. But like the positioning of the third, like it kind of requires Terran to like stretch out their army like this, like we saw there, and Rufus did such a good job exploiting that. But now these goons are just shooting this depot when they could be killing SCVs, but that's alright.
Yeah, Protoss continuing to expand to his top left as well, and looking like he's going to take the bottom right. So this game is all but over, really. If Terran can't keep this CC alive, he's going to be in a pretty bad position. All these goons getting baited in, though. If he takes all those out, that's a start. And, you know, 4 goons is not really enough to threaten killing a CC that quickly, so it looks like he will keep this alive. A lot of SCVs have fallen, though. Doing a good job of rebuilding them where he can, ready to transfer back over, but already such a cost has been incurred. Good micro from Rufus, just backing up, making these tanks sink for as long as possible again here, and more zealots coming in, hitting the main Terran army. Unfortunately, plenty of vultures there to clean those up, so the Protoss army kind of drifting in here a bit at a time, and this might be enough for the Terran to actually hold this position now.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this decision from Rufus. He keeps trying to put the pressure on here, but remember, he's trying to take that base up at the top left. He's actually trying to take a Nexus over in the bottom right, and actually another one in the bottom right, so really spanning all over the place, trying to get up all the minerals here. But he keeps kind of rallying in units, forcing these trades, but at some point you have to consolidate your forces, make sure you can actually defend some of these bases you're trying to take.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so tempting as Protoss when you take a big fight and being like, alright, let's just end the game and like get in there, but that's exactly how Terran can come back. If you just keep hitting a defensive position with a small amount of army, and really he doesn't have that big an army because he keeps trading it away. There are a few mines here now, and like that's going to be enough to kind of slow down these zealots if they choose to go in again. The Arbiter, well, I thought there was another Arbiter. I don't know where it went. Oh, that's where it went. I found it, guys. Do you see it?
It's in the bottom. Yeah. Minimap awareness. You did it, buddy. But look at all these vultures in the top left. They killed the probes. They're going to kill the cannons as well. So shut down that one base. But here comes that Arbiter into the base. Flies over the turrets. Not enough to get it killed.
Oh, and this is exactly the spot. This is exactly the spot Terran's going to dread. Oh, he recalls from the natural there. Well, these vultures are killing a crap ton of probes up here, though. And that isn't such a big recall. But how is Terran ever going to get back here? He's made a SimCity against himself.
Yeah, unfortunate for Rufus to keep he rallied some probes over to that top left base. They all get eliminated here. Now, a lot of the units that were actually recalled, there's not a whole ton of them, so he's not actually killing off the reduction. He killed some SCVs, now working towards random abilities. There's no focus fire. So while this recall wasn't a great spot, it's not really getting the damage done you'd hope to see from a recall like this.
I think he's trying to pry out that armory, but it was in an extremely good position defended by his depots. Yeah. So he can't actually get to it. And Cluster looks like it's still going to finish, so yeah. I guess this recall is really not going to work out that well for Protoss. And that base falling at the same time, this has been a pretty good couple of minutes for Terran, actually. But that Arbiter's still there, lurking. Try and hope no one notices tickles on those depot.
I mean, this could be the opportunity, though, for Rufus. Look at everything getting pulled back to defend this recall. Nothing's defending the third, but no move out from Rufus, just comfortable establishing these bases over in the bottom.
He has a plan,
right.
Don't you worry. He has a plan.
There's another Arbiter.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's setting it back up for that first Arbiter.
I don't know if it's such a good idea, though, because the Terran army is kind of like in here in the traffic jam.
Yeah.
I mean, not that Terran necessarily wants them in there, but since he hasn't left, I mean... okay, he's biding his time, though. I assume he's going to wait until he sees Terran army move out here, because he doesn't observe or watching everything. But Terran leaving a couple siege tanks as well. So I don't know. I don't like this reliance on recalls when Terran's not moving across the map. I don't think it's that good. But he is.
I mean, he already took all the bases on the map pretty much. It's not like he's like relying on these recalls. It's just the only option to really pry open a defense like this.
Well,
it's just try to force things out of position. It opens up an opportunity here.
When I look at this map, what I see is Protoss has taken all the bases that Terran is fine with them taking. If Terran takes all the bases on the left side, they still have enough to win.
Yeah, but you can see there's no move out for Fazix to even take that fourth base they're expecting to take, let alone the corner up there. All this defense being here, finally starting to bleed out into the map a little bit. Lots of tanks here.
Oh,
they're pretty. Yeah, great EMP there, but still pretty well upgraded tanks up in the middle of the map. That one Arbiter in the bottom side just lurking around, has that full energy. And the macro from Roof is still doing a good job building plenty of units back at home. So everything looking pretty stable from the Protoss player here. adding on more gateways. But remember, this isn't a 4-player map. It's a little hard to actually get the gateway count up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it helps that he has such a good base layout. But what are you going to do in the end? You're going to put gateways like here at the 4th? You're going to put them down here? Evo location really just sucks. So if Terran gets like a 4th and 5th base up, it's very hard for Protoss to actually fight that. Because what you need is like literally 30 gates sometimes against that. Terran's putting up his army, by the way, trying to secure this 4th. I don't know if it's such a good idea. There are a decent amount of defensive mines here, but look at the size of this Protoss army. I feel like if Protoss just comes in here with a determined attack, he will smash this half of the army that's down here. And he looks like he's going to do just that. Oh, that mine.
Bringing the mines back to his own army.
Yeah, that's right.
This is still a lot of tanks spread out very well, and there's a little hit squad of vultures and tanks up at the top left that can do a good counterattack. Roof is going in for the attack here. Turret's not set up in time. Plenty of mines. The Zealot's getting there. The mine drag's hitting some decent stuff. The units from the top coming down to help defend this. All the Zealots are down. There's still Arbiters with cloaking. Moving away from the Dragoons, so no more cloaking anymore. Still plenty of siege tanks alive with +3 weapons. And Rufus has to give the attack up.
Yeah, you can't engage that many tanks with +3 without stasis, just straight up. And especially going through that minefield. Like, the Protoss ground army is just bad against that many tanks, basically. So, just trying to engage without any help did not go well. And now Terran's looking a lot better in this game. The 4th is landing. There's some token defense up there at least. He's denied the top left. I think the trend is going well for Terran, unless Protoss makes some kind of move here.
Yeah, a lot of pressure from Rufus trying to get some stuff done. Took the bases over on the sides, trying to get that economy really rolling. But you can see back at home, not a lot of I mean, it's a lot of gateways, but not a lot of gateways for 5 base Protoss here. And finally a move from Fastic over to that top left, trying to kill out these pylons, get some control over there. And with Rufus's army so far away from it, I don't think it's going to be a real way to contest it. I think we need to see that next kind of move that's going to be able to break this game open. An Arbiter would be great for something like that, like a nice recall to kill some production. That first one could have done so much more work, I think. But you can see Rufus just kind of building up their core units. And as this game goes on, it's going to be harder. And look at these vultures moving around. There's cannons already kind of made to help defend this. But I think Fastic's doing all the moves they need to do right now to try to keep Rufus back at home and give himself more time to establish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Fastic was scanning for carriers just then because he's like, Protoss hasn't attacked in a while. And that just kind of shows you how well Terran's going, actually. That they're kind of thinking, well, this is going a bit too well considering how it started. Oh, these mines getting so much value. Even going to pick off these zealots as well. These vulture, like, kind of sortie just getting mad value for just, like, 7 vultures, I think. They will get cleaned up, though.
Oh man, look, this is that part of the game where every Terran player wants to be. Look at the gas Rufus. The gas bank is gone. Lots of minerals back here, but now the tech units are going to be in limited supply. You can't throw them away just for free anymore. And Fastic does have some mines over on the side and realizes there's going to be opportunities. And look at this SCV moving across the middle of the map. It doesn't give a hell. It's going to scout something. It's here for a good job.
He's making zealots. Now I know. Yeah, I don't know what the idea is that. Wow, Protoss actually on 3-3. That's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, this gas shortage of Protoss's own making. Oh my god, Goons, don't do it. Goons, don't you know there's mines down there? Oh no.
I mean, you're saying Protoss on 3-3 is pretty good, but the Terran's about to finish their 3-3 of their own too, and have plenty factories back at home.
Ooh, I like it. I love dropping these bases. They're too big to really cover cannons. It's alright, he made it. He made it. And now, what does Protoss do here? Like, he's walled it off. He has to wait for, like, Zealots to run in here. You can be really efficient if you put down a few mines and drop micro. So he's doing a lot of damage. Honestly, these bottom right 2 bases are just hell to defend from drops. Because you can even hide in the corner as well. Protoss not really reacting to this. I think he's just saying, alright, screw it, I'm going to get ready for an attack. You know, I won't deal with this. I'll get revenge instead. Checking out this really fortified position, but this is exactly where Terran wants him to attack. He'd be much better off trying to hit this 4th or something like that. Because this is just so fortified. Oh, but he's going.
Yeah, big attack in front of the natural. I don't like this idea. This big EMP that hits plenty of tanks. No stasis in the backfield. A D-Matrix even on one of the front tanks. The Vulture's going down, but a lot of the Protoss army already killed off. This attack not going as well as you would think, but still managing to break through. Both sides losing pretty significant amounts of their army. But Fastic way ahead in supply. The macro keeping up as they're going through here. Rufus's bank starting to build up. The attack that he had, everything kind of in the same spot. The attack didn't go well. And you can see some units over in the top left. They're not even able to slow that base down. Fastic sort of weathered the storm, got into this late game, and is looking very strong right now.
Yeah, the thing is, like, even how many units did Fazek have all around the map not even helping defend that, and he still crushed that attack? Like, it was just, the stasis were too late, for sure. Too small, like, you can't just attack willy-nilly, you need some kind of advantage in this phase of the game. And now losing a bunch of goons trying to get in this top left. This top left is great for Terran, because you can see Protoss has to go down this really narrow ring. It's almost impossible to defend. And now that he has a setup of mines and turrets, it becomes almost impossible for Protoss to get in there.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate things we're seeing during some of these fights from Rufus, he has all these gateways, but there's been periods of just not having things being produced, and then you see now, like, just start queuing up tons of stuff at the gateways. That's the kind of thing you need to be doing during the fights, so the production keeps going as the units go down. Some Zealots working their way towards the 4th from 2 different angles, but plenty of mines to clear them up, but still a couple getting through. D-Matrix is going to slow things down. And actually, this attack at the 4th didn't even go well either. Rufus keeps kind of throwing his army to the slaughter. It's not getting anything done, and Fazek's still staying ahead of supply. It's very surprising.
Yeah, you know, that tank in the bottom right actually took out that Nexus too. I'm quite surprised. But the Nor cannons have been set up in the other base, so it's going to be difficult to drop there. But yeah, I mean, Protoss' economy is just stagnating now. Now there's even been knocked back down to 5 bases, only 3 of them mining, and Terran's just growing. So the amount of time until it becomes max and decides it's time for Protoss to die. Protoss needs something here. Where are his Arbiters? Are they all dead?
Yeah, he's lost so many of the turrets during these attacks. They're so expensive, they take so long to build.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, he's not too high on gas either, for sure. Alright, well, he's going to try and come into this 4th again, but Protoss, I mean, Terran looks pretty well set up here. No mines this time, but there's so many Vultures and Goliaths here, they're going to have no problem gunning down these Zealots very quickly.
I mean, the Vultures aren't at the front buying time, though. The
That's
Zealots
D-Matrix.
did manage to actually get to the base. While everything getting up on that even ground, you see more units coming from the side. I think there's going to be enough units to kind of fight their way through, but no one's attacking those tanks that are in that bottom left corner of this whole thing. Doing so much damage here, but still enough Protoss army to overwhelm this. It's going to stop the mining at that 4th base, and that's going to lock off the top left as well. So this attack from Roof is finally punching through, and this could really kind of sway the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he got in there with all those D-Matrix going down as well, but Terran's just so spread out right now. And the reinforcements are slow to arrive, but they are coming. The CC, I think, will fall as long as he focus fires it. Oh, well, mine's going off. Not targeting the CC, and the tanks are getting sieged. It looks like the tanks might be a job themselves. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Rufus won that pretty cleanly, killed off that 4th base, and look at that supply lead. Phasix was ahead before, but now Rufus up by that amount. You're kind of expecting pros to be up in these games. Still doing a good job just turning out these gateway units. Both sides fully upgraded pretty much, other than Parage shields, everything 3-3. Both sides very strong. Rufus regrouping back at their own 4th base and looking towards that top left. There's an opportunity here. There's very little tanks. There's no vultures. It's just some mines. This might be the opportunity to kind of break this game open and put Fazek in a terrible spot, as that 3rd base is completely mined out now.
Yeah, I think if Rufus gets in there and takes out the base, I think he will win. But can he? That is the question.
I think if he goes right now, he can, but he's giving his opponent time to set things up.
Oh, I'm not so sure. You overestimate the wideness of that ramp. It's held with
Yeah,
that
that's
diamond.
a very narrow ramp.
This is
Maybe
a
if you
very
went back to the
difficult
4th.
attack. Well, he's going to start clearing out the mines. He's doing it. I think he was just getting his hotkeys in order. Okay, taking a couple mines so far. Oh, even drags on onto a tank. So far so good. Doing a little counterattack as well over to the 4th, but there's a bunch of tanks there. Oh, and he finds the weak spot is actually coming through this large ramp instead. No observers though, so the mine's doing huge damage here. Oh, I don't know about this. Like, they've already softened up switch to Protoss army, but he's attacking from 2 sides at once. And actually, I think it's going to be enough to smash through this force again.
There's plenty of units up at the top left, not involved in the fight here. It's really just a lot of SCVs trying to long distance mine. The army from Terra is just not here right now. So many of it getting killed, some of it in other positions trying to defend. Great push here from Rufus. Gonna be able to shut down that 4th base again. And if you look at that top left, there's just not units here. They're actually trying to stream up and slow us down at the 4th base instead of staying fortified.
Oh,
great stasis! Oh my god, what a
Greatest
stasis!
stasis. Wow, that is like a game-winning stasis right there, I think. Well, actually, he's cutting himself off from killing off the space.
Yeah,
but the
it
tank
just-
siege in range. He just needs to back up and he should be fine. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, now there's no way for Terran to reinforce here because he's cut off circulation. He looks like he's going to attack the natural as well. I think it's only a matter of time before Rufus kills that top left. Clearing out mines with zealots. You know. I guess Rufus has decided making observers isn't his style. Instead, he's just going to send zealots in. Not sure if I agree, but he's making it work for him. Oh, I didn't notice there's a Zealot in the natural. How did he get there? Was there a recall? Surely not.
I'm not sure.
He must have just walked in there. Yeah.
There's so much action
the football
happening
team is
all over
here.
the map.
They take down these SCVs, and there's nothing to stop them. The stasis runs out, Protoss storms in, kills all this stuff. I think Rufus is actually going to take this game.
Wow.
Yeah, this game went back and forth on both sides. Rufus staying in it pretty hard, making use of these gateway units. Didn't switch to carriers, believed in the strategy, no big thing here. Found an opportunity to attack at a weak point, and FaZe couldn't replenish the units they want to. But as you see, there's a lot of factories back home, but still only 3 machine shops. So if you lose all the tanks, it was just too hard to come back from. FaZe is tapping out. That was a fantastic game for both players.
Yeah, it was pretty close too in the end, but he just found the right place to attack. We saw he had a few failed attacks, but that you can see why he made them, because once he found one that worked, that's all he needed.
All right, so I got a lovely game. A lovely game coming up next, involving some people that might be in the call right now.
Oh, how exciting!
Excited.
Now we're not going to make you talk about how great your own play is or how badly you messed up. So you can jump in as much as you want, but we can take over this cast a little bit. You can kind of be there. Just when you do something silly, we'll ask you, and you can be like, "Oh no, I don't know, guys."
Okay, sounds good.
You want to introduce yourself though?
Well, let's start with the top right. In the blue, we have Royal Blue. I approve that very much. And in the bottom left,
It's me, Cold Warp Gates, and the White Protoss.
Cold War Gates himself, Caster Extraordinaire, staple of CPL, pillar of CPL, if you will.
Ooh.
I mean, honestly, like you're saying caster extraordinaire, but Royal Blues joined me for plenty of casts as well. This is the cast to show off. Like this is both players. It's like they can see the games, they know the strategies, they know what they're talking about. Can they actually execute any of it?
That's a good way to frame it.
That's always the question.
Let's be real though. If we're giving a medal for most games casted, surely it goes to Cold War Gates. Surely.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I casted like half the games last season.
Yeah, something like that. It was ridiculous. Hopefully, we can help you out a bit more this season.
Yeah.
I casted like 3+ hours a week every freaking week. What do you? I'm chopped liver over here.
You sound like you weren't there last season. 3 hours is not enough. Like we were doing like 6-hour casts, if you recall.
That's why you just dodge all the TVT games.
No,
I'm a
games.
magnet. No, I'm a magnet for good TVT. Someone goes Raze, someone goes Vulture all in. I have never had a TVT game where both players take the same build and just slice the map in half and just kind of let it happen. Now, I might be jinxing myself. We do have a TVT coming tonight. So,
Ooh, I'm excited.
But I think I'm going to believe my ability to be a magnet that someone's going to force some action, whether it be big drops or whatever. But we're not talking TVT right now. We're talking TVP on Eclipse, and we're seeing a little wall off from the Terran. Do you like this wall off? Does it do anything?
I do. Deeper to the right, Terran's delight is what they say. So this one will work. I'm intrigued if he's going to go for a 2-fac here, because I think we discussed this on the other stream. There are reasons you don't want to wall. Obviously, versus proxy, you just kind of win, but in the later game, especially against recalls, it can be a real hindrance. But we'll see what he has in mind here. Versus 2-fac, when you're doing 2-fac, it's very good because you just deny scouting, but it kind of also gives it a way to promise that you're up to something if you're walling. We'll see what the plan is.
So I'm actually curious, because you always mention later in the game it kind of falls off. Like you can reposition the barracks. Would you ever consider just killing those depots and just rebuilding them later if you're really worried about recalls in the late game?
Yes, I suppose you might, but then that's 200 minerals you're losing, right? If you just didn't wall, you wouldn't have to lose 200 minerals, would you?
I mean, but that's Protoss will take that loss all the time with a Manor Pylon or something like that.
It's
a drop in the bucket.
Isn't it worth 200 minerals in 20 minutes to not die to early game stuff? Isn't that worth it?
Well, no, because
seems like it.
2 reasons. First off, Protoss is usually going up to 6 bases versus Terrans 3 or 4, right? So they can afford to lose a couple more minerals a lot more, I feel like. And think about it, you're making vultures with these minerals. They're worth a lot more that way.
Stop. Look at this upgrade. Cold Warp Gates, what the fuck,
Ooh,
dude? I see an upgrade. This guy's playing shenanigans. This is a DT boy. He's building the KP boys.
Oh yeah, for sure he will be. Well, he's waiting till this SCV leaves though. Honestly, he could have just made it range. He didn't need to have to make it +1 weapons. I guess it's just for caster's benefit.
Exactly.
I assume.
Well, it's also remember it's cheaper. It is cheaper.
So
yeah, but look how much money he has. Look how much money you have, Cold War Kids. It's not necessary.
Yeah, but it's like when you build it, like you don't have to stop making it probe or whatever. It's not a big deal.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I actually, if whenever I go to DTs, I actually still get the range upgrades. That way, the timing's never different. It doesn't look weird at all. Like, there's not like that seems a little early. Like, none of that kind of nonsense that can happen. Now we see that upgrade getting canceled back at home. The second gateway added on a Citadel, and with the Goon and the Zealot blocking the ramp, there's no way to get back in this and see this. We're gonna see if Royal Blue has the instincts to kind of smell this out. But there's Zealot harassing a little bit at the front, a CC being made on the low ground, and we're gonna see if that first upgrade from this factory might be very critical. It has to be mines, the only thing that can really slow down these kind of early DT plays.
I mean, there is still time for an eBay if he starts it very soon. He didn't start the Templar Archives yet. Who's to say he's even going to make DTs? He's making a lot of Zealots, you know. That's another thing that Protoss can make.
Okay, actually, I'm now very confused because we're actually getting Zealot speed. This isn't a hard rush to DTs or anything like that. This is some kind of crazy nonsense all in. I've never seen anything like this. I'm so intrigued now. I'm happy I picked this game to cast.
You know, in recent times, this is somewhat popular. Oh my god, this SCP just gonna walk right in.
This SCP just walking in.
Well, you know what? Maybe that kind of gives it away, though. He's going to see the Citadel and everything.
Yo, the Goon's not even trying to stop him. He's like, I want you to see it. I need you to see it. It's so important that you see it. It's the next level of the mind game where either Cold War is really fucking up, and luckily he's right here. We could ask him, did you fuck up, or is this part of the plan?
Oh, no. I absolutely meant to block the ramp.
So, funnily enough,
right.
he still just really wanted mines to stop this. This is very tough for Terran to stop because this doesn't block Zealots. I'm pretty sure they just run in above here. And, like, you can build your tank and put it in siege mode, but versus speed Zealots, that's really not that strong. And he's just going to charge in here. In recent times, this is a pretty popular build, but normally Protoss proxies 3 gateways very close to the Terran. But either way, if you catch him by surprise, it can work. How many Marines in that bunker? 3 Marines in the bunker. I don't know if it's really enough. Although, it looks like Cold War's going to attack with just a few Zealots here. Not going to wait for too many. We'll see what they can get done.
I mean, it's still, we're getting siege mode on the way, but it's not done yet. Zealot's going to be able to get here just in time. There's a couple tanks in the back, but with all these buildings away, no repair on that bunker. Not going to be able to get there in time.
Well, the SCV's blocking beautifully, though. Well, maybe not beautifully, but that's not the right word. And the Zealots do just get right on top of these tanks. And you see the tanks are just not as effective against them as they are against Goons. Nice blocking on the ramp here, though. But how do you stop, like, 6 angry speed Zealots? They just charge in there, and they're not going to stop for anything. More tanks being built, but only 1 factory production, and more reinforcements are coming. This looks pretty dire for Terran right now.
This is a very interesting build we are seeing from Cold War because these Zealots getting plenty of stuff done. Some of them getting cleaned up by the tanks or being surrounded by SCVs, but damage still being done. Plenty of spells still being put across the map. I'm a little bit surprised from Royal Blue that we're not seeing a switch to Vultures to really kind of kite these out and make sure you can do things, because these siege tanks, siege mode is done, but they don't even have an opportunity to siege and really try to slow things down. See, look at all this micro attempting to kind of buy time as best you can, but plenty of units getting killed off while Core Orphans can just keep sending Zealots across the map. Actually, even back at home, adding on more gateways, no nexus, there's no follow through, no more plans. They want to just keep the pressure on here, and I think it's gonna be enough to close out the game. Yeah,
it certainly looks like it. That was like Marines versus Zealots Mark II. The tanks trying to, like, you know, do that thing where one is being targeted, the other one's shooting, but they're just too fast. You can't stop them. And, you know, they're going to go to work on these SCVs as well. One tank popping out of time has no hope here. SCV's trying to get in the way. Oh, that tank is so low, though. Oh, there it goes. And yeah, there's so many Zealots here, they'll just rip through those SCVs in no time at all. And the SCVs are natural forced to retreat. Looks like Cold War Case has done it. Pretty straightforward attack here.
Big shout out to Tim for telling me about this build.
Yes, very popular recently.
Wait, this is actually a real thing? What the hell?
Yeah.
Did Tim tell you to proxy them?
Tim did not mention the proxy, but
okay, GG.
It makes sense. It's just been hard to set up.
Honestly, 90% of the time I see this on ladder, they proxy 3 gateways somewhere on Silford Light. Well, I guess not ladder anymore. They put it at like the high ground third or whatever.
So, I'm now noticing, remember how earlier we were saying, like, oh, it's preseason games. No one's really cheesing. Everyone's just show what they're really about.
I was like, yes.
I know you were conspicuously very silent during that whole talk.
Well, we saw last game what happens. You take Terran to the late game, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you saw that, but the pros still ended up doing fine in that game as well. That game was very back and forth. This one, less back and forth. Oh, Neblime, get in here, man.
Oh,
Hold on,
why'd you start without me? Yeah.
I thought you were in here already.
I got a mess with the overlay, dude. You gotta give me time.
Well, I'm re-hosting now. We're gonna wait for you. Don't worry. I wouldn't start a game without you, buddy.
Didn't you just do that?
I literally hit cancel. It didn't start.
Alright. Go on then.
See, look, I'm waiting for you. You're my buddy here. Cole Warfgate's now, after watching that game, like he can start talking again. He doesn't feel all shy and bashful.
Right. Here we go. Oh my god, it's Aggie. All right.
Well, one thing at a time. In the top right,
Yeah.
in the brown, we have Kiko. I don't know what they did to their name. Oh, okay, it's like pipes on either side, fair enough. And the bottom left, in the yellow, it's Arge, also a CPL legend for sure. So, playing Zerg, not race picking because it's not Protoss. Or what was it? He race picks against Zerg, is it? I don't remember. He race picks one of them. But playing Zerg this time, will we see proxy hatches? I want to. I really want to. Against Terran,
do you remember my games versus Aggie from last season? Because I do.
Look, to be honest with you, I don't remember yours in particular, but every ZVP series he plays, he always does it. It's like
it was like I knew he was gonna proxy hatch. I saw it in game. I built cannons, and I still died to it.
Yeah, I think you have to
hold on. Well, let me paint a little backstory for you guys. I'm going through the spreadsheet of the preseason data. I'm like, all right, let's find the groups. What groups haven't been casted? Okay, I got the list of groups that haven't been casted. What groups have like clearly like a top like 2 players? Like, ooh, I found the ones that have top 2 players, and I saw Age hasn't been casted, and he's in the top 2 players. Ooh, this is gonna be a great game. I can't wait to see this one.
So, the one thing we don't expect is Arge just play a straight-up game going for Hive on 3 bases, right? That's surely impossible, right?
I mean, that's like one of those things that you're just like, you cheese so much, you'll never see that I'm playing totally standard. You're always going to be like, ready for something. But I don't think Age's kind of got that. He's not one of those players. It's like, I'm going to throw him a curveball one time. He has his own drum. That's what he's dancing to. You can't stop him. Like, you're never going to be able to get in his way.
Yeah, well, here we go. He's going to put down the hatchery. So far, so normal. Maybe he'll try for like a hidden third, like the double gas, say? That could be pretty strong. My mind's just racing trying to figure out all the possibilities of crazy things Age might do in this game. He'd really show us up if he does just do a normal build.
Well, I think it's Artosis says that the cheesiest thing a cheeser can do is play standard.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, you say that, but honestly, I think most players are happy when that happens. Now, we are seeing from Age nothing crazy just yet. Hatchery, the spawning pool. No immediate gas right after that spawning pool, so maybe something a little bit different. Maybe something with 3 hatcheries trying to get a little more larvae like we saw in the earlier ZVT tonight.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be a 3-hatch build. And again, we're getting these, like, it's not old school exactly, but, you know, the most popular modern thing is 2-hatch, so I'm surprised to see these 3-hatch builds coming out in both the ZVTs.
Are you surprised that Age is not doing the meta?
I guess not.
Really?
No. But,
really?
Like, there's a lot of sneaky 2-hatch things you can do that he could have done, although this is looking a bit weird, the hatchery at the front. That does seem weird to me, although he doesn't know that it's not mech, right? It would make sense if it's a mech build for sure. But versus Bio, this is not favoured, because when you're up against stim timing, that can be a bit easier for Terran to pick off.
I mean, there's the mind games here. If the legs pop out and they can stop this SCV in base, if that 3rd hatch never gets scouted, Kiko's going to have to actually retreat from the base and get with the scout. And if he just tries to keep it alive as long as possible, wait to see the lair timing, there might be an opportunity that Age is like playing Galaxy Brain StarCraft right here.
Well, Kiko should know based on the lair timing.
right when you do that, here you go. It's the hatchery, yeah. How does that happen so often?
I know, right? Look, Kiko should know based on the lair timing alone that there's a 3rd hatchery somewhere, but you don't know whether it's at a 3rd base or what, or in your base, you know, when you're up against Arge.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's going to go for this eBay first here, doing the pretty standard reaction to 3-hatch. And, you know, so far, Arge doing pretty standard 3-hatch build. I'm confused. What is he up to? Man, Arge's going to watch this cast and be like, what do they think of me? Wow. We're just expecting some bullshit.
Oh no, he knows what we think. It's endearing at this point. It's a character trait. Like it's one of those like I know what I like. I like going 2-gate versus Terran. Snipe like playing for an hour and a half against Zerg. Like there's just some things that you just know.
An hour and a half? That's pretty short, dude.
Well, I
like
said he
3
likes
hours.
playing Howard App, then it falls off a cliff.
Oh,
when
okay, he
starts
enjoys it
getting
for
bored.
that duration, and then he's like, oh god, let me out.
Yeah, Lair being morphed into natural sis. SCV still a little bit in the dark about what's really happening here, trying to stay along, but I think at some point you just kind of guess and assume, but finally the micro falling off a little bit. This SCV so close to death. Is it going to be able to stay alive long enough? Is really desperately trying to find this Lair timing, and Kika's got to be going, what the fuck is happening right now?
He will see
But
it
he's gonna get down, and as I said it, no, just in time. We're gonna be able to see it. It actually sees 2 Sunkets being morphed as well, which is great news as a Terran player to know, hey, they're making this defense. I don't need to try and attack. I know it's not going to work. You'd be a little greedier.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
didn't even leave him as creep colonies. He just went straight to being a sunk, even though he has vision of the Terran.
Yeah, that is a bit weird. I guess he's just worried about a sim time coming out. But yeah, it is good for Terran. You know they've already spent that money, so you don't need to threaten them to make them do it. They just did it on their own. So Spy coming up. Didn't I say like he can't possibly just go 3-hatch standard to?
He's doing it.
Oh my god. No, he's gonna make all skirts now, so when Terran lifts up the barracks...
This is your caster curse, man. You're calling it out, you're trying to make these guesses.
No,
you're way too confident.
He's getting drops, see? And Hydrogen. The Spire is a fake, I knew it.
Of course we'd be like, I'll build a Spire in the main. When he scans it, he'll never know what's really happening.
Well, he's probably going to make a few Mutalisks anyway. I expect he's going to make like 6 Mutalisks or whatever and just like fool the Terran for a bit, then suddenly come in with like a drop.
Oh, this is shenanigans though. The first scan goes down. It's at the natural. It sees the Hydroden.
Oh, well, I think the thing is, whichever one gets scanned is the one he won't do, I expect. I mean, we'll see. But if he doesn't make turrets, yeah, that will be a problem. And he didn't really save lava, so when you scan this, even if you don't see the Hydroden, you're definitely thinking, oh, that looks like Lurker. But I don't know. He's got up to 6 now. So, oh, you know what? The lava lined up just perfectly, so I take it back.
I mean, Kiko moved across the map now, thinks he sees an opportunity weakness. That scan at the natural does see that there's only 2 creep colonies at the time, or 2 Sunkens. But more creep colonies being made, and they're being more Sunkens blind. So when Kiko gets here, the defense will be ready, even if it's not from units, to be able to save the larder before these tech units get something done. And remember that Agi does have that Overlord up near that 12 o'clock base. It's already a little bit in position to get something done, but a Marine moving there, Kiko trying to count all of his opportunities that something crazy might happen to him, putting some pressure on, containing Zerg on 2 bases.
Yeah, well, those Overlords won't help Zerg if he can't get Hydras out of his base. Now, because he got Lurker Aspect already, he couldn't make that many Mutalisks. Okay, Kiko scans, and this is where Terran, you're like, oh crap, I need turrets, quick, make the turrets. And he does actually pull his army back, but the thing is, there's not that many Mutalisks, because he spent gas on Hydrogen and Lurker Aspect and all that. You know, with a decent sized force with stim and range, there's not that much these Mutalisks are going to be able to do to it. But it does pull back all the way. Wow, that's a lot.
Now we're seeing like typical Age kind of shenanigans, but what do you think of this Terran build back at home? 4 racks, getting these upgrades, not like overcommitting, no rush to science vessel or anything like that. Do you like the decision we're seeing from Terran?
Well, the main thing I noticed is he's cut SCVs, which I don't approve of. He needs more. And typically, if you only go 4 racks, you start the factory a lot earlier than this. So, I mean, if you're going to ask me, no, I don't like it.
Okay, fair enough. That seems very reasonable here. An SCV moved down to the bottom right, looking like an expansion from Kiko that isn't going to be at the 12 o'clock. So a little bit of shenanigans possibly from Kiko. Now the Mutas are on the field, see the bio out here, but they're staying together. It's going to be hard to try to harass that down. And actually, I think Kiko's just scouting around. It's confirming, Age, are you still really on 2 bases, dude?
Yeah, well, you've got to do this in a TVC. Every TVC, you always have to scout every single gas base, because that's Zerg's main like way of doing it, is just taking a base before Terran can realize and setting it up with lurkers or whatever. So a few turrets have been made around the place. This bunker position is extremely odd, and so is this turret, but I guess it got its damage done. So I'm going to try and come in here, but I think it's enough defense to ward off these Mutalisks for now. I'm going to maintain his chokehold on Age here at the front of his base. And, you know, this big drop plan isn't going to make any sense if the lurkers can't actually get to where the Overlords are.
I mean, I think it's just going to be hard. Like, you got the drop, but it's like, how do you even get out of the natural? The Marines are just parked here. They're ready to defend. They're having no issues here. And plenty of scouts moved across the map confirming, okay, no, you're still on 2 bases. I killed an Overlord. Like, we're feeling real good right now as Kiko, as he keeps moving up the tech tree a little bit. Factory about to complete, and really making sure the situation looks good for them. Adding on a machine shop, so I think they're going to start adding siege tanks to the mix as well.
Well, it looks like Age's about to come out here. I think he might actually have enough forces, because Terran has declined to reinforce. course. And I feel like Zerg can actually take a fight here. Stim comes down immediately though. Kiko is paying attention to this. Does not focus by the lurker though. Just pulls back all the way. Giving Zerg the space he needed. Okay, kills one lurker there. Gonna get another one there as well. So far Terran just kiting and doing a bit of damage, but not totally locking in Zerg here. Okay, the factory is complete by the way, and the starport's on the way. Once vessels are out, this becomes a lot harder for the Zerg, of course. Oh, is he gonna make a bunker up there? Why is he gonna see there? Oh, he sees the drone going. He wants to get in here. These lurkers are too spread out to really have a good fight, but the Marines so low get destroyed by spines there. Oh my gosh, that one lurker did so much. And now the Mutalisks will swoop in to clean this up. Oh dear.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like Zerg has been contained here for so long now that they finally have a chance. They can maybe get this drop plan to work or get a third base or do something.
Well, I imagine he's absolutely going to still use the drop site. It would be a bit of a waste if he never did. Although I'm surprised he didn't get Overlord speed in all this time, although that might have tipped Terran off a bit, I suppose. If you see Overlord speed that early, you're going, what are you doing? Okay, but he still hasn't started that third base. The drone, I think, got taken out. I didn't really see, but I assume it got murdered by that Marine.
Yeah, I think so. The Muta's going to be able to clear up the units over on the side now. Link speed is done. Link's trying to go on the map, and the Queen's just about to complete, so Age working their way up that tech tree, but still on 2 base, still needs to get something established. We're still seeing SCVs over in the bottom, and just random units all over the place, confirming if Age is taking another base, moving towards that next step. A drone finally making a hatchery at that 9 o'clock. So we're seeing that attempt moving forward. But science vessels are now on the way. Science facility should be able to start researching and radiate. As I said, that started before you even finished the sentence. So I don't need to look silly. I'm accurate and correct this time.
Yeah, well, he knows what he wants. Oh, that SCV did his job scouting, so he knew those lurkers are there now. So Terran already has +1 armor, by the way, so that helps a lot against these lurkers. But he's going to need tanks or something to help get up this ramp. Well, he does have a tank. I assume he's going to start pushing once the vessel's out. Once he has that vision, he doesn't need to worry about hold lurkers. So, I am intrigued. Will we still see the drop? I want to see it.
Yeah, a little unfortunate if you look around some of the Terran production buildings. One of them very queued up on Marine, so the macro looking like suspiciously good for a Kiko, but a little bit off. But if you look,
yeah,
but still looking at the worker count, 54 to 25, massive economy difference. Even though it's still 2 base for Kiko, I still would love to see him.
Vessel. I was thinking, how do you get vision of that? Yeah, it makes sense.
I'd still love to see him move from the Terran player to start establishing that third base, but they're just trying to set up for a really strong 2-base push as these tanks start seeding down some of these lurkers. And we see the Mutas trying to move forward, pick off this vessel. Lots of Marines here need to be very careful for Age to not lose a bunch of units carelessly.
Yeah, well, he's already lost a few lurkers, but looks like Age is getting a position for kind of a counterattack, or I guess he's just defending that third area. Thing is, even though Zerg ultimately... Oh, nice irradiate. Oh... Wow, that was on like the healthiest Muta in the whole flock too.
Yeah, we're down to like 3 left now.
Yeah. Even though Zerg did kill that Terran army, the fact that it was contained on 2 bases for so long that the army kind of done its job, and you can see now that Age's economy is not so good. But he has a lot of like Hydra Lurk running around. We see to get Hydra speed, so it looks like he's going to keep producing them. He's going for a counterattack here, but there's no third base to kill or anything. 2 bunkers here, as long as there's stuff in them, I think it's going to be enough. And Terran spots it now as well, like sees those units running around. Oh, this is where he goes for the drop with the 1 slow overlord? No, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible, but now there's plenty of buildings in the way they're going to be able to spot that time. Now, we've seen a big fight from the Terran up at the front, but Age on brand for himself, off the meta, but on brand, getting a greater Spire. So they're going to have some opportunity to keep tech switching and try to throw Kiko off, but Kiko is well established out here at front of the natural here. Plenty of units, it keeps reinforcing this push. Age still has stuff on the map, going to push into the natural, but there's plenty left at home to defend as well. I don't think it's going to work.
As long as Kiko reacts at all. He needs to scan. Okay, he stims. I assume he scanned. There we go. So yeah, it's going to slaughter that counterattack pretty easily. That's a pretty big loss for Age now, because now there's nothing on the map threatening. Kiko can bring these reinforcements, and it doesn't really look like Age has much to stand up to this. The Hydralisks, I tell you, are not going to do it. They are not the unit you want in this scenario.
There's nothing even at that third base, so if Kiko wants to just push up that, if he all he has to do is kill off these couple lurkers, there's nothing in the way here. We're seeing Age really lean into Hydras, trying to slow this down. Kiko's army did get a little bit thinned out, but still, with all these medics here, the bio is going to be able to fight Hydras without any issue at all. The tech got finished for Age, but no mutas are even on the map, so the Greater Spire are useless at the moment. And tapping out here, realizing the situation just looks too dire.
All right. Wow. Kiko takes it pretty convincingly, I reckon. He didn't really look in trouble at any point. I mean, like I said, there was that time his army got wiped, but since he delayed third so long, it kind of had done its job by that point.
Well, so we're gonna start getting to our second to last game of the night. So we got this one plus one more. So the night is winding down a little bit, but trust me, we still got some great games ahead of you for you. Now, if you're loving the cast, remember this last match of the week for preseason. Wait, week 1 starts next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're gonna start covering all that. You're gonna start being able to see what the teams can do. Start developing who's that villain team. Someone needs to replace Samang Fire, and we're gonna. And we're gonna get to that regular season where the games all matter. Cheese will be on the table, more of a thing. Everything's gonna be best of 3 as well. It's gonna be a great time. So make sure you're here next week to check that out. Follow the channel for any kind of notifications. Be in the Discord to get any kind of notifications as well. We always advertise it in that official streams channel and tag everyone that's online at the time. But we got a little bit more to do tonight. We're gonna get into a Terran versus Terran. Ah, shit. Let's go.
The finest of matchups.
I could feel Neblime back at home, just pulling out the monocle, gonna be big brain about it. But so we're gonna get introducing our player in the top right, in the brown Terran. It's IRK Advil. So a lot of IRK representation tonight. It wasn't intentional, it just happened. And in the bottom left, in the teal, it's Strikes and Gunners, one of our guys that was trying to help out with casting a little bit.
Let's be real. If you play Brood War, you experience a lot of IRK representation. Whether you're into or not. There's just a lot of members, yeah. So yes, TBT here on Eclipse. What a beautiful matchup for a beautiful game.
Not to call you out real quick, but it's Advil with the username as you typed it in. Advil.
Oh,
with
did I? What did I put?
The overlay.
Oh, yeah.
Adil.
Fix that up.
Oh boy. Alright, so Eclipse TBT. Like I said, I'm usually a magnet for getting something good. I did pre-screen some of the games tonight, not this one. I didn't even look at this one. I'm hoping my magic comes through and gets us something interesting. But if you're playing TBT on Eclipse, what do you like to do personally to block?
Well, the biggest factor you have to consider is that big ramp near your natural way. If your opponent can set up tanks on the high ground there, even though it doesn't cut off your circulation, it's such a threatening position where you need to commit so much defense to stop them from just doing that at any time. It's a really bad position. So you need to think about getting out of the map early. I think generally Vulture strategies would be favoured here, as they are on most maps, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say in particular what's good for this map. I think in general drops are pretty good as well, especially with those bottom right bases, such as they are. But like any map for TBT, you can kind of do any strat on any map. Some are just more favoured than others.
See, I didn't know if there was certain maps where it's like, no, I'm much more inclined to try to slice up the map or be very defensive, especially these kind of maps that kind of have varied high ground, low ground, like undulation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, but consider it's only in one area of the map. I guess the very top left as well, but it usually doesn't work out that way because you've got that big open stretch between the main middle map high ground and the other high grounds. So it's not as prone to being sliced up as some maps that have existed in the past. Or like Gladiator, for example, is a terrible one for that because you just have a high ground ridge every little way you go.
Gladiator is not a terrible anything. You take that back, sir.
Well, you hate
Gladiator,
TBT, right?
Best map.
I don't think you like Gladiator TBT very much.
If it makes TBT longer, then it's bad.
I mean, have you played for us in Gladiator? I love Gladiator.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, it's great for us.
I mean, I haven't experienced much split map on this map, like when I play TBT here. It hasn't really happened much. Polypoid is the current map where it seems to happen the most, to be honest. So I don't think you guys need to be too worried.
Well, already, like I was saying, I'm a little bit of a magnet for the players not doing the same build back and forth. We're already seeing it. Both players opting for that first factory, no gas expand or anything. But at IRK Advil, keeping guys in the gas, Strikes and Gutters, reducing down, looking like they want to set up that early expand.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting that Strikes and Gutters making more Marines here. He might come out with a couple of Vultures, a couple of Marines to harass. And that can be really effective, especially if your opponent goes for a tank first. You know, interestingly, we see Advil continuing to mine gas here. I'm thinking he's going to be throwing down a starport for sure, because of his second factory. Oh, okay, where did he put it? Oh, there it is. I think he's banking on that he can kill this SCV before it gets over there and scouts, but I don't think he can. SCVs are pretty good, man. Well, here we go.
I got the Strikes and Gutter vision on. He's running for Yeah, he's running for the rep. He will not see it all the way on the left side. Great factory placement to keep it hidden. So this SCV doesn't die. Manages to get out on the map, but still not going to be able to see that extra factory from Strikes and Gutters. A little bit of a ability to be aggressive here. Now the CC coming down for Strikes and Gutters, the Teal Terran, and that CC's on the low ground, not fearing what RK Evil might be able to do to him.
Yeah, I assume if Strikes and Gutters knows what he's doing, he sees the gas still being mined, he knows there's going to be something going on. I think that's why he got this bunker, but look, I'm not a fan of the bunker at all, that's 2-fact. But nonetheless, we'll see what his defense is. You can definitely still build a CC on low ground no matter what they're doing in their base, like as long as they're not doing proxy barracks stuff. Like even versus 2-fact, it's totally fine to build a CC on the low ground. You have to be prepared to fight with SCVs. So we see Vulture Speed coming up. I assume he's going to get mines with the other shop. In that case, the bunker is quite good. And if you just wall it off with an eBay, the game's basically over because Vultures just can't do anything if they can't get in. We'll see if he figures that out, because this is the kind of problem against 2-fact. You don't know whether it's going to be 2-fact Vulture or it's going to come with like tanks and siege mode. And obviously, the more buildings you have for tanks to kill, it's not good for siege mode. Well, that Vulture's going to be careful. The enemy Vulture could hunt it down. Chooses not to leave the base. Wow. Yeah. Sorry, you go.
It's right. So last season, I saw this kind of game all the time, like pretty much every TVT, and I'm pretty sure that the 2-fact player lost every time. Like, is
really?
this a real thing in this matchup? Yeah, it seems like it's too
very
slow.
much just like if your opponent walls, you lose. If they don't, you win. Maybe. Like it's kind of like you can still lose if they don't wall, but if they wall, it's just over. So that's why A, this build isn't that popular, and B, it's like a lot of the time the 2-fact player just loses. So he's going to start moving out here. There is no wall as such, but with the bunker there and the units in position to block, I'm not optimistic about Advil's chances. Let's see.
It seems like the kind of build for someone that does not want to play an extended TVT, willing to take that coin flip of like maybe I do crazy damage, maybe I don't. Sees that he can't get in though, and laying out a bunch of mines outside the natural. It's gonna be the opportunity to at least contain, and we're seeing an SCV over the natural position, so at least could probably set up their next base once they get the money for it. So I think RK Evil is gonna be willing to take that loss, but that much earlier CC and now a worker lead as well for Strikes and Gutters. I love the position for Teal.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. The only advantage the Advil's going to have here is this minefield, right? Because Strikes and Gutters is kind of way superior to tank count. As long as he can like scan his way through this, when there's a huge number of tanks set up on this high ground, he's going to basically be able to power across the map, probably. That's quite usually what happens in this scenario. Now, he's making Vultures of his own, interestingly, and what can happen is if the 2-fact Vulture player is like, ah, crap, I need to switch to tanks, make as many tanks as possible. If you suddenly come out with a superior number of Vultures and kill all of theirs, suddenly you're the one laying mines at their natural, and you kind of swing that advantage back around.
I mean, we're already seeing...
Sorry, you go.
They're already going to 4 factories here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the infrastructure difference for Strikes and Gutters. Using that faster expansion, using that extra money is going to be able to get more factories here, but that bunker is just, or the barracks is just floating over it, sees everything, so at least knows what's going on here, and still has plenty of mines set up, a decent position on the map, be able to set up that CC moving forward. Not adding on more factories just yet, but instead of Starport, maybe the opportunity to drop and pull your opponent out of position when it comes online.
Well, you can also get a Wraith here. It's like, okay, well, I know I have less tanks. How am I gonna win even if I have less stuff? And you know, that's one way to do it. If they just can't shoot up, it doesn't matter how much little stuff you have. And one Wraith can beat 2 Marines as well.
Hey, control tower's on the way, and I had that caster. Had that caster belief. I said drops. I believe in drops. You got all these vultures that are sitting on the map. Mine's already used. They're not getting anything done. At least try to make some harassment of it. Drops make so much sense to me here.
Yeah, I'm worried though, because if he drops 4 vultures in, and they will all die no matter how many SCVs they get, and Strikers has his own vultures, which he does, if he gets the map control, like, and Advil has less tanks and his opponent has map control, what are you going to do from there? Yeah, you can do some economic damage, but to be honest, the map position in Terran vs Terran is almost more important than the economy, and if you take some economic damage and recover in the long run, but you have that map position, you will win the game. So I'm not sure I like it that much. I mean, a general piece of drag philosophy here, right, is harass is best when your army is stronger than your opponent's. Right? Which it is not right now for Advil.
Well, we're seeing a dropship on the way. He's going to try to disagree with you. Now, I do think one of the big things from doing drops, you don't have to put fuller vultures in. You don't have to lose that much map control. Just a little bit. Just if there's an opportunity for harass, maybe you pull some of your opponent out of position. But if you only lose like 2 or 3 vultures, it's a lot less critical here. It keeps the map control available for Advil as he's setting up that X base, adding on more factors now, getting things but still an opportunity to get a little bit of a lead since your build order kind of put you behind to start with.
Well, I mean, if he's going to be only dropping a couple vultures, though, that's just how many less SCVs he's going to get. I figure if you're going to drop it all, you might as well go all out. Okay, Scan's coming up now, clearing all these mines, and this is this big Terran push that Advil's going to find so hard to stop. Now, since Strikes and Gutters made so many vultures, he doesn't actually have many tanks at all, but like these 4 tanks of Advil are easy pickings for these vultures if they choose to go up there. And the vultures for Advil kind of just chilling on the side here. Dropship just forgotten.
No.
A little unfortunate.
There we go. Right.
He does choose to back off. I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity, honestly, to clean up these tanks before vultures can support them. Oh, he's taking a lot of free hits too, losing quite a few vultures. Looks like he's just going to maintain this position then. These Marines have no idea what they're getting themselves into. And meanwhile, the drop is going down. What forces are there? There's vultures that are natural, so I think Strikes and Gutters can clean this up pretty well. His tank's already in position too. So this isn't going to do huge damage. Nice drill. I mean, yeah, it's really not accomplishing that much, I don't feel.
And it's still got a decent amount of SCV kills. I think about 4 or 5.
There's more coming.
Oh,
more coming. The vultures are still here, though. I don't know how I feel about this drop. Dropping all the way in the corner below the mini-map, so maybe trying to abuse a little bit of that. Trying to get some more SCV kills, though. More vultures.
That is.
Yeah, it only gets 2 more SCVs for that commitment there. Don't like that one nearly as much. And we're seeing a lot of army getting killed off for IRK Advil. While this position on the map still doesn't look particularly great. Plenty of mines kind of protecting some of these paths, and we're even seeing vultures move across the bottom. There's mines to know that there's no one there. This might be an opportunity for a backstab at some point.
Yeah, that seems pretty smart, but I'm worried because like this position that Advil has is like 50% fine. They both got half the map right now, but Strikes and Gutters has so much more army. It's just if he trades some army for some position, he's going to have a really good advantage here. Looks like Advil not doing the run by just yet. He might wait until Strikes and Gutters attacks. A lot of tanks back in the natural for Advil as well. He's gone straight into tanks here. Gone up to those 5 factories as well. So both players kind of fighting on even footing now, but I still feel like Advil has that residual advantage from the early games. So might have really be able to convert it into something.
Now, are you, I'm used to this with some of the other matchups, but like, at what point do you want to try to take a third base? And never mind, we can talk about that later. Strikes got moving in on these siege tanks up at the top, the high ground.
Yeah,
the vultures surrounding it, easy clear with all these mines, and plenty of tanks here. Still some Goliaths as well. Plenty of vultures survive as well. So Strikes and Gutters army looking very intimidating, even though the supply is not pretty even. IRKO a little bit ahead. Most of that's in a worker supply, despite the earlier CC for Strikes and Gutters. But this position looking pretty good, having that high ground advantage, having the units they need to push forward. But here comes some vultures around from the back for Advil. They might be able to clear some of this up or get some counterattack damage.
I have my doubts because there's a lot of Goliaths there, and they are the natural enemy of the Vulture in this matchup. Scans even go down just as the Vultures are running in. Wow, how unlucky there. And he's going to force me back here. I guess he will deny this third here. Answer your question earlier, Saetzero, just typically you go up to 5 factories and then think about getting a third. Unless you already have a strong contain. Basically, that's the typical rule. Of course, you can do any variation on that. Yeah, not worth it at all for Advil. He lost so many vultures here and he just slowed down the third a tiny bit. I mean, there's mines doing their best, but... Oh, okay, maybe get picked off. Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm still definitely a little surprised that Advil, despite everything happening, pretty significant worker lead.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't started that extra CC just yet. As I said, I had noticed that they did. It's going to be able to flow over to that 12 o'clock base. So... both players looking that they're finally going to establish that next CC. Strikes and Gutters building on location instead. But both players not feeling comfortable on the map. The pressure has to kind of alleviate a little bit. Strikes and Gutters trying to run by a couple vultures here. Won't see anything at the 12 o'clock. Things are going to get cleared up. But both players about even on supply, about even on production buildings as well. So I'm not sure which spot I like better. I think I like Strikes and Gutters just because he's in position on the high ground near the natural for Advil. Well,
his SCV production is worrying though, as you pointed out. You got to keep making him, and he hasn't been for a while. He's started up again now a bit, but if they play a more or less even game, but Advil just keeps up the better economy, he will win in the long run. But this position Strikes and Gutters has is extremely threatening. Like, Advil has to leave a strong defense here, or Strikes and Gutters come down and cut off his natural now. Bit of an unfortunate move forward by Strikes and Gutters. Loses a few tanks for nothing, and he's quite far back from the ramp itself right now. But it still looks pretty dominating for him. And his third will finish first. Well, I guess it'll be on position first. Actually, I say that, but okay, barely. It'll barely be on position first, so slight advantage there.
You can't keep wavering on a decision. You gotta call it one way or the other. And, like, it's not fair to say, like, oh, I wasn't wrong because I changed my mind 7 times. That doesn't count, man.
Okay, so these Goliaths here are going to push back the spotting for Advil. And this is a big problem because Barracks' spot for strikes and gutters, he can potentially move forward and kill a lot of tanks before they can even fire back. Especially with this high ground, that makes that a lot easier than it otherwise would be. And strikes and gutters sending a small force around to the other side. In fact, both players have the same mind, but not focusing 100% attention to this. Look at these two forces. It's like almost the exact same army. Almost. Kind of just hanging around, about to take this position. Oh, and looks like Advil will move forward first. If he can siege up first, he'll have a significant advantage here.
There's no siege. Both players kind of just moving things around, not getting anything done. Now, there was one tech difference we saw at Arca will actually research Wraith cloaking, so that might be an opportunity to get something done. But scans being used in the middle of the field, this little skirmish between these units, more UMS trainer, like more micro practice. But the tanks being sieged up.
That would be the worst micro tourney map ever. Where it's just like, okay, you've got a couple tanks for siege mode, go siege them and just wait. I guess one of you would arbitrarily be the defender, the other one would be the attacker, and the defender always wins. Okay, a lot of vultures coming here to clean up these mines. Nicely done. Keeps those tanks alive. Oh, more tanks rolling up for strikes and gutters though. These vultures actually think are enough to clean this. And they're laying the mines all over the place. Nicely done by Advil. Wait, how did that tank not die? Did the enemy tank kill mines by shooting? Surely not. Wow, nice micro by strikes and gutters. Yeah, I didn't see how else that happened.
I mean, I'm definitely a little surprised that the tanks are alive, but that was still a nice little skirmish for Advil. More units coming towards the middle part of that map, so trying to establish something that isn't that high ground, but Strikes and Gutters using this passiveness as an opportunity, making another CC, so going for that 4th base first, while there's nothing from Arca Advil to match that, but he's still trying to bleed onto the map, get a little more control here, and I'm curious to see if this is really the move you want to be doing here.
Well, the thing is, after the early game, Advil's really just out-macroed strikes and gutters. I mean, he just made SCVs his opponent didn't. That gives him such an advantage here. You can see he's just pummeling down more and more units. And honestly, in TVT, is exactly what you want to do. If you have a superior economy and there's not much units there, you just keep sending and sending, inching forward bit by bit until you get to a critical location. Like, if he cuts off reinforcements here, strikes and gutters is in a lot of trouble. You can see that 4th base is already kind of cut off. If Advil realizes that's there, it's easy for him to shut that down. Oh, he's trying to go up on the high ground here, though, and the vultures will back this up. Oh, a lot of these tanks are getting taken out.
There's going to be an opportunity coming up soon for Strikes and Gutters. He's been amassing dropships, so there's
that's
that
where
Doom drop
going.
The Doom drop will be an opportunity to bleed into soon. It looks like the dropship production is finally like waning off, not really going to be moving towards it. But he still has so much map control here. He can pick up stuff and try to get something done at any point. Advil bleeding a little bit more into their side of the map, actually having some tanks now in that dirt side of the map instead of that whole mechanical side. But the CC is finished for Strikes and Gutters. That 4th base is established. So more gas income will be available pretty soon. But Advil maybe feeling the pressure here. Was up on supply before, but now taking some bad fights and actually down.
Yeah, those tanks on the high ground above is natural, getting some value just by just really release them. Advil choosing to reveal his Wraith here, but he's not revealing Cloak yet. I wonder if he's going to come across with more Wraiths to reveal that. In fact, he's even sacrificing that Wraith.
He's got 3-star part production to Wraith, so he's really going into the race right now.
So do you reckon that one Wraith is like a mind game? Like, oh look, I made one Wraith and then it died. Like, oh, I guess I'm not going to make any more. Like, no, honestly, I think it might be, because why else would he send just one, right?
I mean, TVT is all mind games. Isn't that way you pitch? It's the gentleman's matchup. It's highbrow stuff. It's like, you gotta tell me,
that's
man.
That's great for me. That's like making a DT, walking it into cannons, and then like making more DTs later. Like that.
Well, I mean,
that would never happen.
Sure, like one empty shuttle. Oh, you got anti-air. Oh no.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing that now. I'm gonna play Cross and Ladder and do that kind of thing. See what happens. That's a lot of tanks here for Advil. Honestly, I think Strikes and Gutters is in a pretty tenuous position. If Advil pushes forward a little more with this huge tank count, he's going to be able to cut off all movement around the map. And then I hear a Wraith shooting. Oh, he sent one more.
Yeah, over at the 4th base, going to slowly bitch things down. There is one missile turret being made.
Wraiths can't stop one turret. Like, it's just going to kill it. What's he scanning for? I guess he's expecting Cloak. I don't know. Oh, okay, to get the SCV. They can stop one SCV building a turret, however. But he's just going to fly away again. Ooh.
I'm still waiting for this giant drop.
Oh, he's revealing the Wraiths. He's revealing the Wraiths hitting this this eBay. I think there's going to be more soon. In fact, yeah, there's more. I think he's just rallying across. That's why he keeps being one Wraith there. But yeah, he's revealed them. So as long as
drop
getting
getting loaded.
Yeah. Knowing the Wraiths is there is huge, because all you need to do is fly around them. Once you're landed, like, they don't really matter that much. They can pick off your drops on the way back, I guess, but still. You know, a few Goliaths and a scan, nothing the Wraiths can really do against that. But can he push forward against Strikes and Gutter's position before this big drop goes down? Strikes and Gutter's putting so much in these dropships, he's weakening his defensive position a lot. And, you know, his economy is still far inferior, looking at the work account. Advil's just done a way better job of macroing up here. But both players basically maxed it this time.
I mean, I'm concerned though. Like, there's so many maps from mines from Advil all over the map. Plenty of map vision. It's gonna be hard to actually move these in a way that won't get seen. There won't be a preparation for it, and there won't be able to get caught by these rays floating over. He's actually going straight through the middle of the map, actually doing a good job ducking around all this vision and still keeping this drop hidden. But we're seeing some movement on the top left from Advil. He's trying to encroach on that fourth base and force Strikes and Gutters to defend it.
Yeah, and he's going to siege up here before Strikes and Gutters reacts. The dropship's holding on for the moment, but maybe this will be the trigger that makes him go for the main. Yeah, here he goes. He has done, like you said, a really good job of just avoiding all detection so far. They have not been spotted at all, and they're going to go straight for the main. But there's Goliaths at the rally point. This is going to pick off at least a couple of them, but there's still quite a lot going to get in there. Only one dies. This is a huge drop. Oh my god.
There's so many tanks.
Siege up. Okay, he sieges up. The force is trying to come up the ramp. But oh, that's pretty tough to do. Strikes and Gutters taking out all these tanks. Oh my gosh, this is a big problem.
The dropships are just out of there.
Yeah, I mean the Wraiths might catch them, but I mean the damage is done. This is going to do a lot. I mean you need to pull like all your SCVs to be able to try and kill this, as long as there's a lot of tanks. The attack continues at the fourth. The Wraiths not able to do anything. Like 2 turrets is enough to shut them down. And even though there's a lot of tanks here, it's so hard to advance this fortified position. Plus 2 attack done for Strikes and Gutters means his tanks are so much stronger in the defense. And factories are falling. Okay, Wraiths come back, but that's a lot of lives.
Oh, they're not going to be able to do anything. Even Cloak won't be enough. There's plenty of scans here. Advil trying to get up here, trying to defend this, but these siege tanks and the Goliaths to kind of buffer it, plus this high ground advantage, making it very hard to actually get up there. Akira taking very huge damage here. He does push forward into that fourth base. The units that were there to defend getting taken out, but here come the dropships.
They have plenty of defense. They do everything.
Yeah, this is going to be enough. And
GG.
Advil having to tap out. Strikes and Gutters played a pretty clean game there for TBT.
That drop is so huge.
Yeah, strong move there. I guess he knew he was in a good position and just thought, alright, that's it. And you can see that, you know, he wasn't able to defend because he committed so much to the drop, but he had enough reinforcements. He was able to keep the CC alive, and that was plenty. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I like seeing in TVT though. Big, bold moves, trying to open things up. It's not like the units are very like vultures are fast, but like tanks and everything are not. You have that opportunity that even if you're a little bit out of position, it's hard to take a real good punch to that. You saw that there. Strikes and Gutters going for this big drop, but he had plenty of defenses. It was hard to actually punish all those units being dropped in the main.
All right, in the top right, in the magenta, we have Fox. And the bottom left in the grey, we have Jedi One for our last game tonight.
That is the pale blue, my friend. That is not the grey.
That is definitely the bluish gray or whatever color it is, I think.
Okay, I don't know.
It's a great color. It looks fantastic.
There's definitely a pale blue that's different to that. I can guarantee you. Maybe it is called bluish grey. I don't know. Anyone in chat?
I don't particularly know offhand, but it looks great, especially on Carbot. Just nice. Chef's kiss perfection.
I bet. I'll never know, though.
So,
I mean, for like $10 short, you could know. You just play
10
casually,
short dollars? What do you mean short dollars? It's like short tons and long tons. You know, I know what you mean. You cut off like a tenth of each dollar, and that's 10 cents worth.
There you go.
I mean, it's all virtual money. You can cut it up all you want.
Oh, they're worrying about the latency. Of course, Fox is in Korea, right? So it's difficult to get the right connection.
I just want to say that like I've played so many games with Fox. Like he's such a good practice partner.
Oh, he plays super standard, right?
Yeah, I think I played like probably like 30 games with him and won once. I think. Like he's.
I mean, that would make sense.
Godlike.
He's a coach on my team, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he does basically like whatever build the pros are doing that week, right? That's basically what I've seen from him.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little light on the pro content at the moment, though. Like KCM, I know is always going on, but
Oh, there's ASTL going on. Don't forget ASTL. Like
I thought that was about to start. It hasn't started yet.
No, it has started. It has started.
It has?
Yeah, started last week.
So it's a free
Unless that was
not
like
up to...
qualifiers, but I don't think that's how ASTL works.
No, there's no qualifiers for
Well, there you
ASTL.
go. It started.
Then they're just not uploading their YouTube to it?
No, it's only on Freaka TV. There's
no
no
Freaka
English
has
casting.
YouTube.
No English casting, so.
Oh man, that's disappointing. All right, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, that YouTube channel you're looking at is probably the English one, right? That's why nothing's being uploaded there.
Well, they have Korean cast there too. So the
On the
KCM
same channel?
has a
It's not
Korean.
a different channel?
Yeah, I think it's the same channel with different playlists.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, different playlists.
Yeah, from what I remember.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, it has started, so if you're looking for programs, get into that. But I mean, why would you need to when CPL is underway?
I mean, Bisu's played, man. I love CPL, but there's not Bisu.
Yeah, I guess so. Is Bisu in ASTL? Oh, he is,
Yes.
isn't he? Yes, I recall.
Yeah, I have to not root for his team though. He's on Larva's team. I'm angry.
Okay, so normal builds coming up so far. I mean, of course, Fox with the perfect SimCity. Why would I ever doubt him? Interesting that Fox is checking his base here, looking for proxies or like a hidden scouting probe, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason not to at this point. The Marine's not going to be moving out on the map or get anything done. We're seeing Jedi 1 get that Nexus on the way. Just one
That is
gate
a very
expand
fast
versus one.
Nexus. That's a
Yeah, before the first goon even started.
Huh, you don't see that very often. Although it's kind of just like a 21 Nexus, just slightly modified, right? Is there really
Yeah.
that much benefit? Getting that goon and killing that scouting SCV and all that would probably be worth it.
I mean, maybe take a little bit of that
just go 12
take.
next every time, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a strategy, right? On two-player map,
Yeah.
though, is that such a good idea? I mean, it's a bit far to go, but I think Terran would still probably be able to shut that down pretty easily.
Yeah, I was told the 12 next is good on this map because of the rush distance, but I don't actually know that for sure.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem that hard. It doesn't seem that hard to get over there and shut that down. I've definitely done it on ladder. But that said, every time the opponents are going for the greedy version of it, which I don't know why everyone does that. It's a good enough advantage if you go for the 2-gate version. Speaking of 2 gates, is anyone getting a second gate after that super fast Nexus here? I wonder if he's going to be going to Reaver like we saw that other game. Or, I don't know. It's something just... I just have a feeling that he's not.
No, I don't think so because I mean we're getting a gateway as that fast gateway it was Nexus straight into Dragoon range, so I think it is going to be just that kind of core ground units and maybe delaying the tech a little bit, saving the money going into that third Nexus reasonably fast, as you already see the probe moving towards that 9 o'clock.
Right. I guess that is it. Just making sure he can defend that from any kind of early aggression. And the problem is he's going to have no observer, right? So if Terran had come out with like an FD or something, this would be a bit awkward because you just get mines down everywhere. It's going to be a long time till you can deal with that. I mean, this tank is very brave. I mean, I guess there is only one goon there, but how does that tank know that? Damn. Wait, where is that?
Yeah, I wonder
I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a little mind gaming happening from Jedi 1, knowing that Fox tends to play so standard here, kind of abusing that, being a little extra greedy, assuming it's like, I don't think we actually get on the map and punish it.
What is this probe doing?
Yeah.
Is he going to proxy
I
some
don't
kind
know.
of tech up there? Oh my gosh, vulture speed coming up right away. That's interesting. Before mines, before speed. Before siege. That's really weird. If you're doing a drop, I get it, but he's not. So I'm kind of confused at this.
I mean, is there some kind of move out you would do where you'd want the vulture speed to reinforce, or is it too late for something like that?
Sure, but you want mines a lot more than you want vulture speed. Reinforce all you want. If you don't have mines, the vultures aren't that useful.
Exploring.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
these goons coming in.
There's
No
no
barracks
tank.
here to block. Oh my gosh, they're going to take out that tank easily. They might take out the second one too. Here's that 1021 showing how strong it is again. Oh, Marines were slacking on the high ground as well. Oh my gosh, getting 2 tanks, no problem. 2 tanks for 4 goons, not the worst trade for Terran, but they don't want to be getting their tank count reduced in this scenario.
I mean, at least still there's that whole movement from the Dragoons. They walk right to the corner.
That tank
Kiting gets
pumping
it. Yeah. But all the Dragoons moving to that right side, no opportunity to kite. So while they killed 2 tanks and reset the count a little bit, it gives Jedi 1 some breathing room here. They did immediately get killed, no opportunity to kite and get more damage. More gateways getting added back on, observatory out of the way. So Jedi 1 adding on some more ground units, but actually a little more gateways than I'm used to seeing on 2 base. Usually you see like 3 gates, then going for that Nexus.
Oh yeah, he's going for a Bulldog for sure, I think, off this. I think it's because he picked off those 2 tanks. He's saying defenses are going to be weak, but Fox actually coming across with like an FD style push. Since like all the units got reset on both sides, this is just like it's 1 minute ago. With like one tank, a bunch of Marines, Vultures, some things. Now the observers aren't out yet, but they will be soon enough. So this isn't going to be too troublesome for Jedi 1, I don't think.
And there's 6 goons out, so.
He does have mines. He does have mines and speed for that matter.
True.
Although, yeah, he needs to be careful. If he goes in the low ground here, he could easily get this tank picked off. And oh my god, looks like Pupil is overcommitting. The Marines running away. Mine's getting placed.
He's not going straight for the tank.
Yeah, I don't know. Fox needs to pull back. This is not a fight he can take. Although the mines do get placed just enough to let these tanks get away. But honestly, not a very profitable move out for Fox. Now he's stacked back here, just on 2 factories, 2 bases. No armory coming up yet. That said, I think with the 2 factories immediately, he won't get busted by these 4 gates as long as he stays in a fortified position. He needs to be careful though.
I mean, seeing that move out, you kind of have an idea of how strong Fox's army here. And Jedi 1 not moving out here, sending a probe over to 9 o'clock, just going to take the expansion instead. But here comes the Vulture trying to stop it. A goon blocking the ramp, Jedi 1 ahead of the game, making sure there's no way to delay that. Nexus on the ground now, and there's a pylon up at the 12 o'clock. It's going to be able to slow down that 3rd base. If it doesn't get scouted, that's going to be a little bit annoying to get out of position and actually kill off.
Yeah, sure.
Is Jedi not going to bust?
No, I guess
so
not.
But I saw the 4 gateways, I was really sure it was going to bust.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would ever make 4 gateways and then make a Nexus if you're not going to kill him. I mean, I guess he has a lot of Dragoons now, but they don't do that much good against a fortified Terran position. Maybe something made him change his mind? I don't know.
I think that push out made you change your mind because, like, oh, you still have playing Marines, you're still building tanks. You feel comfortable moving out right now. There's probably some kind of strength I'm not seeing. Let's err on the side of caution.
Well, he lost a lot of Marines doing that, though, and a couple of Vultures, so I would have said the opposite. You see that move out, you're like, great, you know, I've weakened them even further. Let's go do this, but that's not what he decided to do. Okay, so Observer gets here, he sees 4 facts only on 2 bases, so Fox going for a bit of a slower expand here, just powering. I like that play, to be honest. Lets you get a lot more Vultures out and threaten harass as well. But we see, you know, Jedi 1's already locked down the ramp to the 3rd though, so I don't think Fox is going to get much done here.
I mean, we're still seeing some bleeding out on the map, some Vultures going down, trying to make sure if there's expansions down the bottom right, you gotta at least clear out the mines first. The CC being made for Fox, but there is still that pylon here, hasn't been scouted. I don't think it's gonna get scouted until the CC tries to land and goes, ah, man.
Dude, if you tried to land on that pointy pylon, is that what you would say? I think it would be a lot ruder than that. Look at that thing, that's sharp.
I mean, you don't know what I'm about, man. Like, you don't know my life.
Oh.
Like,
Way too much.
Okay, shuttle's coming up here, by the way. I don't know if Jedi 1's expecting a push. Does the Observer go into the main? Oh, it did, actually. I remember saying it. Oh, there it is. I see it. So, okay. Maybe he's expecting a push. You see 4 factories. It is quite a lot. I'm not actually sure if he confirmed the CC or not. 5th factory even coming up now as well.
Dragoon's pushing out, clearing out some of the mines that are on the map here. The CC's done, but hasn't started moving over. And like I was saying, like if you have to move some units out of position and clear out that pylon so that CC can land, like Jedi 1 doesn't have the forces to break here, but that still feels uncomfortable as Fox, I think, where he's like, I really don't want to leave this position. You fortified outside that natural. It looks so strong right now, and you don't really want to be trying to do anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, as this game goes on, I'm kind of liking Fox's position because he's going to take this 3rd without much trouble. And Protoss hasn't started the 4th yet. Protoss' tech's not particularly fast either, whereas Terran, you know, his upgrades are delayed as well. But I don't know, it looks like Terran's going to have no problem reaching the late game the way things are going. Shuttle's coming up, but I don't think Jedi wants to attack here at all. Oh my god, Fox, you don't want to attack here either. What are you doing? Oh my god.
Fox just poking around and trying to get something done here. Now, I love the positioning from Fox here. These Vultures at the common 4th base location from both players. And you see there's a pylon all the way at the top left, but I think it's more just for scouting of any kind of movement. And finally, this pylon gets scouted, some Vultures moving over to kill that off. But Jedi 1 doesn't really have the force to kind of shut this down just yet, but maneuvering to the left side, trying to force Fox out of position a little bit. But I really just want to see him establish a 4th base, and it's not really trying to do that right now.
Yeah, that tank's going to do a lot of damage to all those goons running up there, and they might get kind of stuck there if...
yeah, I don't know about this going up the ramp.
Oh, well, you know, he didn't act on that opportunity. He could have brought more tanks up and really killed all those goons, but he did not, unfortunately, so he kind of just gave 4 Vultures away there. Delaying the CC still a bit more. It's still floating. You know, Terran's added like 2 factories since this CC was done. But as long as Protoss is still on 3 bases only, I don't think Terran's too nervous about this.
I mean, you see the upgrades churning out right now. So the starport is done, so the science facility should be on the way reasonably soon. Fox gearing up to have a pretty intimidating mid-game army. Units do clear out that Vulture is holding down that 4th base, and the probe should be here to take an expansion soon.
It's decided it wants to go to war against the wishes of its parents, and it's joining those dragoons to march off to battle. I hope it doesn't get killed.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he intended. So he actually sent another probe. I think he just forgot about it, accidentally added to the hotkey or whatever. But
it happens sometimes.
Terran's finally going to get up here and kill this pylon. But, I mean, he hasn't really committed very much over to the left side here. It does still kind of look like Protoss get in there, but to be honest, Protoss' macro is slipping big time. Look how much money he has. And Fox is still kind of holding it down, so I don't know. This is a bit of an advantage for Fox if Protoss kind of keep on top of that bank.
Yeah, Jedi 1 just doesn't have that many gateways. I think it's 7, and we have like 6 factories, so unless we have more gateways, yeah, Terran's going to get real powerful.
Well, at least Protoss is continuing to expand here, though. 2 more bases going up. But taking this very top left, I mean, this kind of makes it easier for Terran. If they want to push to the top left, take that, like, 11 o'clock as well, they can push the top left as well at the same time. Okay, lots of units ready here. I don't think there's any way for Jedi 1 to attack. Although so far he's done a good job of staying like as close as possible to Terran without like suffering. Oh, that observer was low HP. Okay, gonna draw some zealots here, and actually this might work out pretty well because there's not much up here to stop them. Okay, now there is.
Yeah, I mean, it still seems reasonable. Just try to very minimal investment, distract the Terran, try to get some stuff done. And Nexus at the top left finally getting added on, but we're still not seeing more gateways being added on. There's Arbiter Tribunal. Is it done yet, or is it on the way? Like, yeah, it's on the way now. So we do see like a move towards that, but still a lack of gateway units from Jedi 1. It's gonna make it a little bit hard to get this army really cooking. Nearing max, I think Jedi 1's feeling good, but if you lose the fight and lose all his army, you won't be able to replenish.
Well, you know, I regret praising Fox's macro over Jedi 1's because actually the reason he has no money is because he doesn't have that many SCVs. So actually, Jedi 1 at least is mining the money, if not spending it, whereas Fox is not. I just noticed at 3rd there were so few, and he really hasn't made that many.
I mean, it definitely stuff from both players to work on a little bit. Seeing some scans going down. It confirms that there is that base being made at the top left, so Fox now knows the situation from the Protoss, how many bases they should be expected to be on.
Well, Jedi 1's going for an attack. I don't think this is such a good idea, though. This position is extremely...
Yeah, the goons are in the way. The Zealots can't get
so
in.
many tanks in the back. Well, the mine's going to destroy all those vultures pretty quickly, though. I guess they destroyed the Zealots at the same time. Oh my god, an SCV transfer coming through at the worst possible time.
Oh
no. Okay, looks like they're going to make it. Oh, he's going to use them to fight. I don't know about that. But there's so many tanks in the back here. There was no way this was ever going to work for Protoss. Just got crushed there. Even a couple units coming from the south getting annihilated too. And enough SCVs, I think, make it in there. So that's a real problem. Now Protoss needs to be a bit worried that maybe Terran can actually push across the map here. The Arbiters aren't going to be out for quite a while. And Terran's upgrades are going to finish pretty soon.
And again, this lack of gateway is back in the main, really kind of biting in the ass that you lost all these zealots and a bunch of dragoons, so you have to start replenishing units. But what's one's more priority? You see some bases going down, so Jedi 1's still gonna have that income, still be able to get the money to spend it, but he won't be able to until he adds on more buildings.
Well, I guess it depends what Fox chooses to do when he's ready to push. If he just pushes straight to the top left, I think he's going to be in a really good position. Because it'll just cut off Protoss' expansions. Hasn't taken anything in the bottom right yet. Of course, there's vultures just hanging around there. I like the speed observers though. They're pretty cool. Okay, Terran's scanning like, oh, there's actually nothing here. Let me just come kill you. With my like 20 tanks. Oh my god, there's so many tanks.
More tanks than dragoons, not what you want to see.
Oh, he's trying to cut off these goons with vultures. It looks like it's going to work. These goons need to get out of here, but I think they might get caught. Really nice micro there by Fox to kind of use those vultures to block. Actually pulls back though. Not sure what the idea is there. I guess he doesn't know what's up there.
Yeah, respecting that high ground advantage, doesn't want to overextend too much, but it still gets the Protoss out of his face. It makes that third base feel much more comfortable. Jedi 1's still doing a good job macroing back at home, but still has plenty of money in the bank. No more gateways still being added. Only 2 more since the last time we took a look. And while there's arbiters made, I'm not seeing arbiters being made from 2 stargates. It's just, it feels like it's just not enough that we're not like waiting for one bad fight to go against Jedi 1. Then it's gonna be in a terrible spot.
Yeah, he's had one. If he has another one, he's in trouble. But honestly, Fox is over respecting the Protoss army there. He sacrificed all his vultures to block the goons, but then he just didn't chase them. I'm not really sure why. He just pulled back completely when his army is far superior to him. I'm waiting to see if he is going to take a fourth up here, or if he's going to try and push down the main path. Honestly, I don't really like pushing down the main path at all, but who knows? Maybe he can make it work.
Well, CC being made at the third location, so that definitely points fingers to being at that 11 o'clock, trying to move over there. But we're not seeing any kind of vultures trying to get up there, no mines being laid, no vision at all up there. So I wonder, like, at what point is Fox going to try to start establishing up there instead of really holding up in front of this natural? It's giving Jedi 1 so much opportunity to get plenty of resources from his bases. You can see right now, even maxed, and finally starting to add on a little bit more production, but not nearly enough given the economy they have. A little bit of a move out of vultures in the middle map from Fox, but it feels like it's just so much passive play from this Terran. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he just wants to get max before he goes very far, but he definitely had an opportunity to kind of move out and take more space after that bad attack by Protoss. But hey, if he waits long enough, maybe Protoss will do it again. He's a bit more spread out here, and he needs an EMP because stasis could be devastating, but he still has what he needs to defend here. He's just not quite in position.
Yeah, I believe EMP did get researched, and there's a science vessel with plenty of energy at that third base for the Terran. Everything's super clumped up right now. One Arbiter is protecting everything in a nice little cloaking field, but this is such a dangerous spot. One EMP could really ruin your day. We're seeing Jedi 1 trying to move down on the map and put some more pressure on. I'm not sure how I feel about this engagement, though. I think it's going to go just the same as we saw in the last one.
Stasis, though. EMP's too late. Boom, there it goes. 5 tanks. That's pretty good stasis, and he can actually clear this up and then get up into the third before Terran can cut him off.
I love the decision of taking some of the tanks from the back, actually unseating them, moving them forward to keep them into the fight. Fox trying really hard to not lose control of this position. All the Zealots are gone, and there's just Dragoons left over, and there's so many tanks still here. I don't think you're going to be able to pressure into that third base. But Jedi 1's still delaying that fourth. That CC's done, but has to just hang out at the Terran's third base, unable to do anything. Jedi 1 attempting to establish their own base down at the bottom right, build some cannons and clear out the mine that was blocking it off. Nexus on the way, so Jedi 1 taking that next step. Fox has to get this fourth base rolling.
Well, he is moving some of his tanks there now, although I don't know where the Vulture support is. But I think he will be able to get up there. It looks like he will do just that. Although, I don't know, he's sending a lot of them south. I don't know about this positioning, because it's like he's giving Protoss this kind of staging area just here to get ready and attack him. But Protoss does pull back all the way. And it looks like Terran will be able to land that CC. But, in the meantime, there's a recall going down. That's not enough turrets to stop it. It's never enough turrets, let's be real. And now he's up here on the high ground. A few Vultures coming up to shut this down. I don't think that CC will fall based on how many goons there are there. But this is definitely disrupting Terran a lot. Ooh, and another tank falling actually from splash damage. I think that's well worth it because he didn't actually recall that much. It was like, what, 6 goons and like 12 zealots. That's not that expensive really for what it's accomplishing. And Terran actually pulling back the 4th CC because he knows he's committing too much army over here, and if it got cut off by the rest of the Protoss army, it would get killed pretty quickly. But he's killing all that.
Yeah, I mean, it was enough of the disruption. It slows everything down here, and it keeps Fox back at home. Is buying time. Jedi 1 to get that base established in the bottom right. Knows all the armies here defending that recall. Minimal investment for how much it got done. Definitely looks good for Jedi 1, but I still am a little bit worried. We're still, like, you see the Terran upgrades looking pretty strong right now. Everything seeming good. It's just one bad fight away. Jedi 1 keeps finding opportunities to get some damage done without losing too much. But finally, Fox is up on that 4th base, bleeding up into that high ground. Looking like they're going to be able to finally establish it.
Yeah, you know, Terran is on shaky economic ground, but he does just have so many tanks. That's his advantage. He's just got like 20 plus.
Arbiter moving towards the natural across the right side.
Yes, and again, it's not enough turrets. It never is. Well, it depends how far he wants to go. Nope, he already recalled just in the natural recall. The second Arbiter that's going to keep going. That's how you do it. It's like the tag team. Is he going to do a second recall? I don't know how much more army he has to recall. Oh, the natural is a big chunk. Is he going to do it? He's getting in just the right spot, and he does do it. Oh, I missed it, but still. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to deal with because this army at the natural's delaying. He's even got storms to do extra damage, while this army in the back's going to work, taking out that armory. That's a pretty big deal. Oh
yeah, it's going to slow down that +3 weapons. Is about to finish. Can he kill the wrong armory?
Yeah, and +3 weapons did finish, so actually that's a big deal. Now, at the same time, Terran did land this 4th, and Protoss is sacrificing a lot of their army to do this, but you see they have a huge bank. They've been mining on 5 bases for a while, and 6-1 has gone up now as well. Nice EMP on the army there, but Terran's having trouble getting back in here. That SCV trader was blocking the ramp, I think. Oh my gosh, all these depots falling. This is such a pain as Terran, and you're just like, alright, and start making like 6 depots in an expansion. sieging in amongst the factories here, but there's still... Oh, that Templar got EMP'd. Oh, that's a pity. It could have stormed for the massive damage. Nonetheless, Protoss still being super efficient with this army here.
See, like, when you see the pros, they have such a big bank here. Even if you don't plan on really going for it, you look at it, it's like 100% tanks and vultures. If you were, like, have plenty of bank and you're prepared for a little bit of a carrier switch right now would feel so good. There's no Goliaths here to help defend it. You kind of just throw it out there, and we never see that kind of move. It's still just staying on the ground army, going for tons of arbiters. And you look how many tanks are here. I feel like that would be the move, because it's just all tanks, real ground supremacy, slow style from Fox right here. They did take big damage. And Jedi 1 is Max has a big supply lead. More arbiters being made. There's a little force over on that left side. Maybe another move, maybe some pressure on the 4th base.
Yeah, he's coming in. He has 2 stasis available to here, but there's so many tanks. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, normally I say don't recall on top of the Terran army, but I mean, it might be worth it. Just take out a bunch of these tanks. All right, here he comes. Vultures already doing their work. Zealots falling. Pulls back from the mines just in time. Nicely done there.
Oh,
Okay, there goes one stasis. Yeah, nice. Here's the vessels to stop the other one. And they EMP themselves, but they stop the stasis as well. Nice storm. Yeah, I think Protoss might actually get in here, though, actually. With a nice storm, he's taking out those tanks. There's only like 5 at the back there actually shooting now. And most of the Terran army was so far away dealing with that stasis. Looks like this base will definitely fall. Uh-oh.
Base storms on the tanks.
Yeah.
More tanks trying to go in, but high ground advantage for your crew. It's going to make it so easy.
Did you see that one tank shot killed the rest of those 3 tanks? Just all at once.
The trade.
Oh, the storms. They don't stop. But he does force these goons back, but the CC I don't think will survive. Oh, that Templar's about to have another storm. He needs one more to kill those SCVs. Looks like
I mean, at this point, I think you don't even care about the SCVs. Keep going for the tanks. Keep putting pressure on. But Fox's money looking very low. Jedi 1 on the fat bag. He's feeling real good right now. Fox is running a little bit on fumes as far as money goes, which that's not usually the Terran problem here. Usually it's the lack of gas and you don't know what to spend with. But actually a little bit low on money here. Jedi 1 still doing a good job back at home, trying to macro the best they can. If they can keep putting pressure on with these recalls, they're picking great opportunities. And Fox is just not positioned to defend them, but Fox having none of this, tired of defending all the time, putting pressure on that top left base.
Yeah, well, I think Fox has always been in a shaky economic position because he was so slow taking the 3rd and then the 4th. But now, yeah, can Protoss actually deal with another army? Because he did spend pretty much his entire army on their attack on the 4th, and unfortunately didn't get the CC, just got like a bunch of SCVs and tanks. Now, I mean, Fox's army is weakened, but is it weakened enough? And as we were talking about, engaging in that top left is very difficult. It's quite a narrow area. Well, Protoss not rushing into it. I like that he's taking his time to get his reinforcements. Because even if you lose this base, does it really matter? Like, how many bases you got around the map? He just took another one at the bottom right as well.
Well, I should say that little vulture squad going down there, make sure that doesn't get established at all. So, I mean, I feel like that Jedi 1 can afford to lose plenty of bank, but you know how often you can have a bank.
Oh,
you go, I don't need these bases. Things die so quickly. Probes trying to get transferred, getting pulled away before they lose too much. They're going to go to the other base in the bottom right instead. Fox really getting that good pressure on that top left, which is going to, if he leans forward a little bit more, he'll be able to shut down that base and protect his own 4th instead. But Fox, you can take a look at 3rd base he took. It's starting to run a little bit dry here. He's got to get on the map and get another base going. And you think that would be the other bottom right base or this top left, but he's not being proactive enough at either location.
Yeah, okay, there we go. It's starting to move forward and then siege this top left. There's still quite a bit of minerals left there, less than there might have been. But that Nexus will fall awfully quickly now. Yeah, and it's a tricky location for us to attack into, but I think he must. I think that's his only choice here. But he has plenty of stasis available, and you know, Arbiter in the bottom right is full energy. I wonder if he might do enough at recall.
I mean, you can go crazy. 250 at the recall and stasis. You could really lock off and destroy the production. But there's plenty of army built off at the 4th base for the Protoss. Going up towards the 4th of the Terran. All the tanks leaning so far forward to eliminate that top left. There might be an opportunity here. But, Arbiter moving forward. Gets hit with the stasis.
EMPs after its stasis. Oh, so many mines here, though. I mean, a lot of Protoss units get taken out in the approach, but there's still a huge Protoss army here. He has the numbers, but is the Terran defense position strong enough? You know, these low-ground tanks might actually kind of work out. Oh my god, the mines, though. Oh, took out so many tanks there.
The Protoss reinforcements, though, I think it's going to be enough to overpower this position. Fox can't afford to lose the space again.
There's reinforcements coming in for the Terran, and he might barely be able to hold, but he's going to lose those forces on the low ground pretty much for free with no detection. but I think he holds this base. Maybe he can reassert himself to hit that top left again. Or Purse coming forward. I don't know about this. Yeah, Scan's going down. Oh my gosh, those goons going to melt so fast. Got to be careful there. When it's only goons left, the tank's are king.
Yeah, this fight a little bit on a knife's edge here. Now, Jedi 1 did get to reestablish that Nexus over in the bottom right again. So losing that top left, not nearly as important. All the pressure Jedi 1 could push just on that 4th base, knowing that's the only real mining base. The 3rd is nearly out of minerals. Shouldn't be too worried about that if anything happens there. And we've seen Jedi 1 still playing in banks, still macroing up back at home as best they can. No tech switch, no carriers. I still want to see it. Like that would do so much work here, but we're never gonna see it. It's just gonna be ground army and arbiters, and they keep kind of slowly whittling down Fox. If you look at that money he has banked up here, it doesn't exist. There's just not any of it, so he can't.
Yeah.
I think slowly Jedi 1 whittling it down.
I wonder if it'd be worth it just take a lot more probes and long distance mine this base just to deny Fox any money he can get from there. Because yeah, already it's like if he secures his base right now, there's not going to be that much left. But the bottom right,
he's already doing that.
Yeah, the bottom right has like a fair amount of minerals, but it's a very far away for Terra to get to. I mean, that said, you don't need that much money to like max out, just like sit on split map and dare the pros to do anything. But he does need to secure this 4th pretty soon. Oh, I see him happening in the middle of the map. Yeah, sorry.
I saw that too. I mean, little value wherever you can get it. All these energy, they don't cost you anything to just build up energy and get something done. Jedi 1 actually moving to a different position, kind of looking like they're drilling through the middle of the map instead of constantly attacking that 4th from the typical spot. If they could cut off some of the reinforcements, a good recall in the main might be able to do some very big damage. And remember, there is that full energy arbiter sitting over on that bottom right side of the map that hasn't been used in a while.
There are just too many arbiters in this Protoss army, actually. It's cutting into his supply too much. I mean, if you get land to stasis of everyone, sure, maybe it's alright, but I mean, it just becomes too difficult and you're better off just having more Zealot Dragoons. So he's hitting the flank here. I like this move coming around to the side with no mines, but he needs to land these stasis. EMP goes down, hits one of those arbiters. Actually, wait, no, it didn't hit either. Somehow landed just between them. Decent stasis goes down, but he's kind of blocking off the Protoss army at the same time. Oh, nice back stasis there. And this is a huge amount of Zealot Dragoon coming in here. I don't think Terran can withstand it.
Yeah, it's going to lose all the ground army here, and there's 2 CCs trying to help in whatever way they can. So, what you see, like, tanks. Fox tried to defend this better than low ground. Another stasis just buying time. I want to shut down this base. I don't care about your army.
GG.
And Fox finally having to tap out of this one. Jedi 1 just had too much control over it, and Fox couldn't get another base really going.
That's what I get for saying he had too many arbiters, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, nicely done there coming around the side. That was the move he needed. And then, like, that whole game, Terran was like 1 move away from defeat, really. But good job trying to hold on there by Fox. That was a nice game.
Yeah. I mean, that was a nice set of games. That is the last one we got for tonight, though. The end of preseason, as match of the week, we'll know it. But next week, we're starting regular season. I'm so excited for that. Have you? Are you guys in your regular season lineups for week 1?
I certainly am.
Nice. How about you, Cold?
Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, my mic has been unplugged for a while. That sucks.
I was a little wondering why you were so quiet. That makes a lot more sense.
I was like, why are they interrupting me all the time? It's not cool. But anyway, yes, I am on my team's lineup. I think my team is playing Neblime this week, so that's cool.
Oh, sick. It sounds like it'll be exciting. Maybe we'll pick that one up and I'll just cast with other people.
There you go.
But next week we're going to be able to start casting some regular season games. We're going to be spreading it out across the teams and won't be overloading you with one team. We're going to still be doing the lower tier and the higher tier, spreading things around, giving everyone some representation the best we can. But it's going to be so exciting when we start that up. If you're in your week's lineups, make sure you're getting coaching, make sure you're communicating with your key admins, uploading your replays, and you know, just having a good time getting started with CPL properly instead of just this preseason stuff. Really get into the swing of it, improve as a player. Everyone has such a good time with the season. I'm so glad Season 6 is finally underway.
Alright, well that's going to be it for our stream today. And like Saetzero says, this is the last preseason one. Next week we'll bring you some hot CPL games from week 1. Alright, thanks for joining me. Saetzero, Cold Warp Gates.
Thanks for having me.
Alright, goodbye.